a little rough to meet those expectations.
It was very challenging for us to get there.
I listened to just the stems of the song every day for about 2 weeks before the recording session, and then when I came in, we did about 2 takes of it. I think it was a combination of like the first and second take, and looked at the digital audio workstation on his computer, and try to make the drums sound as keen to the song as possible.
And so it's tricky, especially for people who are not used to recording, young students, people who it's their first time recording. They get nervous. There's really no audience to give you that energy feedback and that appreciation for what you're doing. It's just an empty room with me.
CCS Cinema Club, welcome. My name is Leia Gersing, and I'm here with, of course, Sarah Durr. And it's just us today, no special guests, because we're getting into this movie. We're talking about Dune Part 2 today.
What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
Going on adventures, flying in space, surfing ancient sandworms, and fighting in an interstellar war. Dune is the science fiction with a message to spread that we will be talking about today. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, Sarah, we're talking about Dune today. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. This movie was so good. I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I was I loved it. It was so good.
So when did you see, did you watch Dune 1 with me, Part 1 with me?
No, I was there when you were finishing it.
Okay.
I watched Dune 1 the last day it was on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
So I just
were kind of
under the
late.
wire. I was kind of late. I hadn't seen it when it originally came out.
Yeah.
But I really liked that one too. I'd say definitely between the two, I preferred the second one.
Yeah.
Just because the first one kind of felt like there was a lot of exposition, which of course it had to be with, such a big story. But I really liked the second one.
Yeah, I agree. I think the first one was a lot of setup, which can move kind of slowly, but it kind of gets you set up for the next movie, which is important. But it can be a lot. And so a lot of people might have said that the first one was a bit boring. And I honestly like setup movies, which is kind of weird. So I really enjoyed the first one, but I did like the second one better. It's definitely more action-packed. So if you like action-packed movies and you saw the first one, you're like, I don't know. Watch the second one because I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot to talk about Dune, but let's talk about why is it worth it to see the second one?
Oh my gosh, so many reasons. I feel like the main thing that a lot of people are talking about is the effects. It was really incredible. There's a lot of ways that the things in this movie could have looked like really crazy with like bad effects, but it looked so good. There were a lot of really action-packed moments that like you felt like you were really in the action.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes bad special effects, they really just take you out of it, but there were a lot of good special effects. The visuals are amazing. And just like the story is it's complex and it has like a really important message for people to hear. So
Yeah. There's a lot of cool themes. There's a lot of like religious themes, and then also a lot of themes about war, and those kind of like go together. So that was really interesting. We'll probably get more into that more in the spoilers end. So what type of audience do we think would enjoy Dune? Like if you're more of an action person, what do we think?
I think that definitely sci-fi fans would really love it. Also, anyone who likes action movies, people who read the books. I personally didn't read the books, but I think that it's really interesting to see the translation between like book to movie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We love book to movie adaptations on this pod.
We love it.
We love them. Honestly, I think that, a science fiction lover, if you love things like Star Wars, even Harry Potter, I think you'll like this.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a really good one. And I also think that this is, while it's a very serious movie, there's a lot of comedic elements in it, which I thought was really cool. So let's talk about some of our favorite characters. Well, who is your fave character? I can't remember her name.
It's
the one that Zendaya plays. I honestly cannot remember her name either, but it was like Desert Spring was like her one of her names, which foreshadows a moment in the movie that we'll talk about later. But yeah, Desert Spring. We'll call her Desert Spring or Zendaya. That works. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I just loved her. I thought that she was really honest. Like she was able to see. We'll get more into that in like the spoilers section.
Yeah.
But I thought that she like expressed what she was feeling, and she didn't sugarcoat things, and she kept it very like real. And yeah, I just really liked that about her character.
All right. Well, Sarah, do you have anything else to say about the Dune movie?
Oh my gosh.
Wrap us up.
Just that it's definitely worth the watch, even if you're not a science fiction person. Personally, I always have a hard time, as you could probably tell, like following more science fiction-y, like complex storylines, but I really loved it. I thought it was such a good story. It was beautiful visually, and yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, it's a long movie, but it's worth all the time. Get in there, go to the theaters, watch it. I believe it's just in theaters right now, but should come out soon, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to our CCS Cinema Club podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Yolanda. I've been a bus driver with Columbus City Schools for 15 years. I love it. It's flexible. I was a single mom with 4 kids, and I needed the flexibility and the hours. So being able to work a split shift was awesome. Making sure that you make contact with each kid every day, it changes them, changes me. Columbus City Schools brought a lot to my life. I believe I'm a family. We're a family. I really enjoy what I do. And it's not just about the kids. You have teachers, you have employees, and they all contribute to what we do best here, and that's educate. Actually taught me how to drive, taught me directions, north side, east side, west side. I didn't know where I was going when I first started. Now I know everywhere, the whole Columbus. Tuition reimbursement, I was able to go to school. Come join us. Apply now at ccsjobs.org.
Today we went to all of the feeder schools, so all of the elementary schools and 2 of the middle schools that feed into West, and we did a clap out with their kindergartners and 5th graders.
The walk was really fun. My favorite part was seeing all the little kids and seeing how happy they were and knowing that they're going to be here one day with us. Showing students that they can graduate one day as long as you stay on track with everything that you need to and you just stay focused on the stuff that you want, then you can really do it.
With such an exciting event today, it's so great to see our kids that we haven't seen since they were in elementary school. I was lucky enough to be their teacher for 2nd and 3rd grade, so it was really special to see this group come through.
Just great opportunity to celebrate, and it's important because it builds the connection. And I think that's something we really need on the West Side, is to build a connection between our elementary, middle school, and high school students.
We always talk to the kids about what happens after elementary school, but an event like today shows them where they can be in the next few years. I think it just shows them how all of their hard work can pay off as well in the future.
Greetings and welcome to this week's highlights from across the district. This holiday season, our CCS community came together once again through the annual Stuff the Bus campaign to support students and families across the city. In partnership with CSCA, NBC4, Education First Credit Union, our transportation and custodial teams, and Firefighters for Kids, we collected new unwrapped toys for children 12 and under. Donation sites across our schools and admin buildings made it easy for staff, families, and community members to participate. Thank you to everyone who donated, volunteered, and helped make Stuff the Bus a success. Your generosity reflects the heart of Columbus City Schools. CCS families packed the historic Lincoln Theater on Saturday, December 13th for the second stop on this year's Pathway Express. The nearly 100-year-old cultural landmark welcomes students and families for a morning of hands-on learning, creativity, and exploration. Guests participated in improv acting activities, explored storytelling through music and movement, and stepped behind the scenes to learn how lights and sound bring performances to life. Students also discovered career pathways in the arts while touring the theater and learning more about its role in Columbus's history. A highlight of the day was a special appearance by award-winning author Christopher Paul Curtis, who connected with students and shared insights about writing and storytelling. Thank you to all of our CCS families who joined us for this month's Pathway Express destination. We look forward to seeing you at our next stop. Columbus City Schools proudly celebrates retired high school resource counselor Kate Webster, recipient of the 2025 Ohio School Counselor Association Lifetime Achievement Award. Webster was recognized for more than 30 years of service, her leadership in shaping the district's counseling practices, and her dedication to fair access and opportunity for all students. Kate's career included roles at Windsor Elementary, Beechcroft High School, and Columbus Alternative High School, as well as 15 years as the district's high school resource counselor. Even in retirement, she continues to serve CCS students by volunteering weekly with Student Success Stores. CCS applauds and congratulates Kate Webster for her lasting impact on students, counselors, and our entire community. Northland High School is taking STEM learning to new heights thanks to a $5,000 Ohio STEM Learning Network classroom grant funded by Patel. The grant supports DRIVE, Delivery Robot Innovation via Engineering, a hands-on robotics project where students design, build, and test delivery robots while mentoring younger CCS scholars. Led by Engineering Department Chair John Keller, students explored coding, engineering design, and real-world problem solving. The project also brought together partners from Drive Ohio, Columbus Spanish Immersion Academy, Avalon Elementary, and Woodward Park Middle School to strengthen the STEM pathway in the Northland community. CCS thanks Patel and the Ohio STEM Learning Network for supporting innovative future-ready learning experiences for our students. Last month, delays in SNAP benefits left many CCS families across our community food insecure. Columbus City Schools responded quickly with care and intention. Through a $125,000 grant and a strong partnership with the City of Columbus, we were able to distribute over 8,400 meal kits to families across the district. Across 5 CCS school sites, staff stayed late. Students stepped up to pack boxes, and Board of Education members volunteered to ensure families had access to meals during our Wellness Week break. Each effort provided meaningful relief to families during a very challenging time in our community. Thank you to everyone who showed up to serve, and to the City of Columbus for standing with our schools, our students, and our families. As we gather for this final board meeting of the year, I want to wish everyone a safe, restful, and joyful holiday season and a happy new year. This time of year gives us an opportunity to pause, reflect, and recharge after months of meaningful work on behalf of our students, families, and staff. I'm grateful for your continued partnership and commitment, and I look forward to building on our progress as we continue this important work together in 2026. These have been your highlights from around the district for December 16th. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening and welcome. Today is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025, and welcome to this evening's regular board business meeting. Mr. Treasurer, can you call the roll?
Yes. Ms. Ingalls.
Here.
Dr. Pierce.
Present.
Ms. Reyes.
Here.
Mr. Simmons.
Here.
Ms. Vera.
Here.
Vice President Adair.
Present.
President Cole.
I am here.
Quorum.
All right. Can we stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. This is a bit of a bittersweet day for me personally, but I'm encouraged. We have a fairly active agenda this evening. We'll begin, of course, with public comment. We have 10 speakers this evening. In addition to that, we will then go into board matters. We have several actions to carry through with regards to that. Then we'll move into sections 5.1 through 7.1, which is our executive director's reports. I believe the only one that we have is the finance. Is that it? Okay.
No, there's comments.
Okay, so we're expecting a few comments. We will then move into the voting on the consent agenda, which is section 8.1 through section 23.9. Post that, we will then have board acknowledgments in section 24.1, and then post that, there will be no executive session. We will adjourn. And well, wish everyone the happiest, most wonderful holiday possible. But with that, is there a motion?
To approve the agenda.
Second.
Motioned and seconded. All right, call the roll.
Vice President Adair,
Yes.
Ms. Vera,
Yes.
Ms. Ingles,
Yes.
Dr. Pierce,
Yes.
Ms. Reyes,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
President Cole.
Yes. All right, motion carries. We will move right now into our public comment. Our first speaker is Emily Bailey. Good evening, Ms. Bailey. Welcome. All right now. So once you begin, you have 3 minutes.
Vice President Adair, Treasurer Cook, Superintendent Dr. Chapman, and members of the board, parents, and students. I am here to personally invite you to the Columbus City-wide Kwanzaa celebration. Opening day is on December the 26th at the King Arts Complex. At 11 o'clock a.m., storyteller Oba King will perform. Families are invited to attend. All events are free. At 12 o'clock, we'll have Kwanzaa creative hands-on activities for children. At 2 o'clock, performance etiquette. Oba will do a workshop for middle school and high school students to help them know the techniques that they should and should not do when doing a presentation in public. And that night at 6 o'clock is the opening night ceremonies. Dr. Yolanda Stewart will be receiving our Community Service Award. The other events are additional events in Columbus. December the 27th and 28th, go by the Ohio History Center. That's from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. December the 27th, you can go to Millennium School. They have a Nguzo Saba Market. December the 27th, William H. Thomas Gallery, and that's from 6 to 9. Also on December the 29th, join Urban Streams at the King Library at 2 o'clock. December the 29th, you can go back and spend some more money at the Nguzo Saba Marketplace, Millennium Community Schools. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I look forward to greeting all of you on opening day at the King Complex. Thank you, and thank you. Happy holiday, and happy holiday.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bailey. Our next public speaker will be Shantae Moss. Shantae Moss. Welcome this evening, Ms. Moss. You will have 3 minutes.
Okay, it's nice to meet everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting me. So I'm here to support teachers who are present, and I'm here to support my son first and foremost. I'm a mother. This is my son. Come on, baby. I have 3 topics I want to support. Substitute teachers in middle school, we need that. My son has an amazing teacher this year. Last year he did not, so I want to support her. And she dons PPE. She comes to work every day. She does a fantastic job with my special needs child. And I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but I'm not going to get emotional. So when there's a shortage in substitute teachers, what ends up happening is we dump other teachers into their classroom. But that means that they don't have an opportunity to learn their curriculum for the day. And that my son suffers because of that, right? And other children. And then the teachers who show up to be present every day suffer because of that. So I think we should put more substitute teachers in elementary schools. The second topic is latchkey. I would like to see latchkey in elementary schools as well. The bus system is not working. I know we've improved, and I appreciate that, but these students need to be to school on time, and latchkey can help with that, okay? Latchkey can afford parents the opportunity to drop the kids off early so that they can eat breakfast if they need to and then start school on time. So that would be helpful. And then last, we need 4 superintendents. It's too big. Columbus is too big. She should be CEO. And I feel like because we're this big and we haven't addressed this particular topic, that we're setting ourselves up for failure. We're the 15th largest city in the United States. Our district is too big. Every school that I look up is failing. To not address it is irresponsible. That's all I have to say. Happy holidays. Habari Ghani. We celebrate Kwanzaa. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Debbie Deschanel. Welcome this evening, Mr. President, Madam President Deschanel.
Hi. Thank you, President Cole, Vice President Adair, Treasurer Cook, Superintendent Dr. Chapman, and members of the board. My name is Debbie Deschanel. I am the president of CSCSA, Columbus City Schools Classified Supervisors Association. I'm here on behalf of my members to address some concerns, and I wanted to let you also know that our members consist of 227 employees who are the backbone and support to the areas such as human resources, state and federal grants, finance, athletics, information technology, transportation. And we manage programs and people so that the organization and our colleagues can focus on working with students. Through a recent survey, we discovered that 71% of our members hold a bachelor's degree or higher, 38% are in college or plan to attend, 41% hold additional industry credentials, and 43% volunteer in the community. As president, it's my responsibility to represent members' voices in collaboration with district leadership. And fulfilling that responsibility has been difficult in the last few months, and our members have been left in the dark in regards to their association agreement and the potential impacts of budget cuts. We have had meetings with management on October 23rd to present an agreement that we believe is fair and equitable to our members. The proposal was scheduled to come before this board tonight, and it's not on the agenda. I did get a call from John Dean from Labor Relations on Friday, and we were able to discuss getting on monthly regular meetings, but it still has my members left in the dark as to what's going on with our agreement and with the budget cuts. And so tonight we do have 4 requests from the board. CSCSA is respectfully requesting that before you vote on a package that comes to you before you from CSCSA, that you ask that the executive committee has had a chance to review it. We also want you to advocate for continued open dialogue and collaboration amongst management and the executive committee. We're asking that you support CSCSA's involvement and review of proposals before they go to the board. And we're also asking for your support and inclusion in discussions that affect classified supervisors. And we thank you for your time and listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President Deschanel. Madam Superintendent, can we ensure Labor Relations or whoever is responsible works with this group to ensure that that occurs? Thank you, Madam. All right. Our next speaker will be Xavier Medina. Xavier Medina. Good evening, sir. All right. You will have 3 minutes.
I'll try to be as brief and to the point as possible. I'd like to pick up where we left off in the hallway. The November election, and I'm not really sure how many people are aware that we voted for the continuation of the levy for the Columbus Zoo, but the zoo is not in Franklin County, and it's kind of hard for me to understand why Columbus City Schools is having such hard times in financing, be it closing down schools or hiring substitute teachers, classes and busing and the like, when we're giving $20 million per year to Delaware County, where the zoo is currently a part of. And that zoo has moved from Columbus back in the 30s. And we constantly fund or contribute to the Columbus, the zoo. And it's kind of hard for me to understand that. I pulled a copy, which is online, from the tax form, the filing for Columbus Zoo, which is prepared by the accounting firm of Clark Schaefer Hackett, which is right there on the southeast corner of Easton Way and Stelzer Avenue. And it shows that they're in the black. Columbus City Schools in the red. So for last year, they earned $11 million. This year, they're $9 million in the red, in the black. And I can give you a copy of this, and you can see that it shows for the past 5 years, on averaging $20 million, they got $100 million from the city, from Franklin County tax base. And if you go to the Delaware County website, is where you would find the Columbus Zoo. So I think that it's a little disheartening that if we have a legal department, I understand this is something that's through the state and the voters are the ones who approved it, but I think that the way that the ballot is written, and that would probably be through the clerk's office on how they put the wording in there, but it's listed as being a continuation of a levy. If that's a continuation of a levy for the next 20 years, but it's not, it shouldn't be Franklin County's burden. I also would like to address the issue of the, in the event that someone wants to contest an appraisal, because it shows here from the auditor's site that Franklin County has the highest valuations in all of the 135 school districts within the county. It listed at $82 billion in valuation. Nobody else comes even close to that.
I thank you so much for your time and insights. Unfortunately, you've run out of time, but you may have every opportunity because I did make sure that our board liaison had the opportunity to follow up with you.
Could I leave you with a copy of this?
You may certainly feel free to do
You
that.
could very easily see this online.
Yep.
And for anybody
Mr.
else-
Birdsall will get that from you. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Rollins. Okay, our next speaker will be Malik Rollins or Malik Rollins. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize in advance. Good evening, Mr. Rollins. You will have 3 minutes. Did I say your name correctly?
Yes, Malik.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I'd like to say good evening to Ms. Chapman, Mr. President, and every other board of the council. And I'd like to state my name is Malik Rollins, and I'm speaking today on busing issues and the support of staffing in the schools, like IEP teachers and other people. So I would like to say that Columbus City Schools serves around thousands of students across hundreds of buildings. The district provides transportation to about 37,000 CCS students. For many families, busing is not optional. It is the way they get their education to all of them. As a result, families have faced delays and constant route changes over the years, and even now, as we speak, they sometimes do not have their buses promised to them because the lack of busing issues. When students cannot get to school, they rely on busing of CODA support, Uber, and other transportation methods that are not always reliable, not always safe, and not always guaranteed. This impacts instructional time. This gives absenteeism an excuse for kids to not come to school, and this gives a reason for write-ups, insubordination. This gives a reason to say that kids need to go home when these kids are just trying to get to school and we have forced this issue upon them. Transportation issues don't just stop with that, but they also stop in schooling inside the doors with the student and staffing issue, where people have come up and said that they are scared that their jobs will be lost, that they are scared that they might not have a job by the end of the school year or at the beginning of the other school year because of our issue with our $50 million deficit out of a $1.8 billion budget. Now, I look upon everybody here, and I expect everyone to know how to do basic calculations. Hopefully, I'm not mistaken. But I will say this, that again, I look upon all of y'all, and I see like a lot of diversity between everybody. And between everybody, I expect y'all to be able to hold not only everybody accountable, but yourselves accountable. And with this $50 million deficit, it's really appalling. You know, it's really appalling that we take this upon all of the staff members that have come to voice themselves, all the students that have the busing issues that they have now, and now myself, as a foster child. Do you understand how long it takes to get to school from the places that aren't just 2 miles out? It takes a good either 15 minutes or for some of the kids that I used to ride the COTA bus at the beginning of the school year, almost 2 hours, if we understand that, 2 hours. I had to catch the 5 to the C-Max and from the C-Max to the 8. I want y'all all to understand that these COTA buses are not reliable. These COTA buses are not safe all the time. And these COTA buses are not promised. These other methods of transportation are not always promised. What was promised, though, what every other kid, when they join public transportation schools, they think is that the yellow buses will come pick them up. They think at the end of the day that they'll be able to get on a yellow bus and not have to catch a C-Max that might wait 30 minutes because they don't have the right tire or because it broke down. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, our next speaker, who I believe is remote, is Kimberly Castaneda.
Good evening, Board President Cole, Vice President Adair, board members, Superintendent Dr. Chapman, and the Treasurer, Mr. Cook. My name is Kimberly Castaneda. I attended and graduated from Columbus City Schools, CCS, and I'm a former employee who retired after 32 years of service to the district. While an employee in CCS, I started the Girls of Distinctions, a 5th grade girls reading program, and the Tuesday Read Twos after-school reading program from 2008 to 2012 at Eastgate Elementary School. I received an Asset Builder Award for an individual adult from the Ohio Department of Education for the work I did with Tuesday Read Twos, and my last position was in the Superintendent's Office of Customer Relations. A few of the buildings considered for closing: Columbus Gifted Academy, formerly Everett, a middle school near campus, and Fairwood Elementary, close to Children's, are in highly sought after or gentrified areas. If the board sells those buildings, please do not do it at a loss like Northeast Career Center. Also, last year before retiring, I suggested demolishing 270 East State Street and erecting a skyscraper like OEA, that's the Ohio Education Association, to house the entire administrative staff. Then sell all the other buildings, 3700 South High Street, Adult Education Center, Kingswood Data Center, and Hudson Distribution Center, and put everyone in one place. That would sure save money. Lastly, the superintendent can also go back to basics with how the Board of Education used to be ran, with smaller overhead. And our test scores were okay in 2003 when my daughters attended. She can get rid of the ombudsman position. Dr. Murphy will be all right. And the area superintendents. They've had a few years to save money, so they'll be all right too. As well as the chief of priorities. Her duties can be given to the deputy superintendent. I thank you for your time. Have a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. Goodbye.
Thank you, Ms. Castaneda. Okay, our next speaker will be Sarah Murr. Sarah Murr. If Ms. Murr is not present, we will move on to Sean Downey. Sean Downey. All right. Our next speaker then will be Susan Cavendish. Good evening, Ms. Cavendish. You will have 3 minutes.
Hello, good evening, Board President Cole, Vice President Adair, Superintendent Dr. Chapman, esteemed members of the board and community. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I am here to stand in strong support of the Safe Green Schools policy vote on the board's agenda tonight. I want to be very clear about why this matters. Safe Green Schools is not just an environmental choice, it is a health benefit for our kids and also a smart budget solution at a critical time when every dollar counts. As a parent of 4 young children, one with asthma, I know firsthand how critical it is for children to learn in healthy, safe environments. Poor air quality, outdated HVAC systems, and inefficient buildings can make children sick. Every child deserves a safe, healthy place to learn, and this policy helps ensure that all students have that in this district. The Safe Green Schools policy is a forward-looking, creative solution committing Columbus City Schools to explore cost-saving, green energy solutions every time repairs are made to a school or a new building is constructed. This policy also puts action behind the board's earlier commitment to be carbon neutral by 2050. Climate change is already affecting our schools and putting children at risk. This policy is about resilience, responsibility, and preparing our kids for the future that they are inheriting. Columbus City Schools is the largest district in Ohio, and by passing this policy, we have the opportunity to become a statewide model. Other districts will look to us to see what is possible, showing that fiscal responsibility, environmental responsibility, and children's health can go hand in hand together. I want to applaud Dr. Chapman, the board, and the facilities department for your leadership, persistence, and commitment to our students. This progress did not happen in isolation. Parents, teachers, students, and community members organized. Over 600 people have shown their support, including the parents, teachers, and students who signed our petition that we have here tonight to show you. Kat Lynch, here with me, a parent at Westgate, has the name of each of the 200 supporters of the Safe Green Schools policy on this beautiful scroll made by Kat and her student. We are excited for what can come next. Ribbon cuttings for solar projects and other tangible improvements that make our schools safer, healthier, and more efficient. Tonight, you have the opportunity to make parents, educators, and our district heroes. Amidst mourning what our district has lost, I urge each member of the board to seize this opportunity to celebrate what our district is capable of by voting yes tonight on the Safe Green Schools policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cavendish. All right, and our final speaker will be Robert Bennett. Good evening, Mr. Bennett. You will have 3 minutes once you begin.
Well, so my name is Dr. Robert Bennett. I'm a resident of Columbus for about 20 years, and I own a home on the south side. Columbus Public Schools forgets its responsibility as school district for Ohio's capital city. Columbus has a duty to provide an education that prepares for civic participation and contribution. Ohio has a deep history in literature, science, and arts that Columbus government neglects, hides, and shames. You plan to destroy buildings purpose-built to shelter children as students who continue the legacy of Ohio. You collaborate with city government that saddles a $50 million debt on children, parents, and residents. What other city service is indebted to the city as schools and education suffer? View the downtown skyline and explain the debt placed on children in the capital. Columbus government is the corruption of Ohio, set stone on the shoulders of our community. Bexley, Whitehall, Upper Arlington schools are funded and lack the resources of High Street. I smell the garbage poured, the sewage poured upon my head in a building so far south that I might as well be an old man's cave. Teachers hold a labor union for this reason. Teachers are the keepers and carers of the community's children. That they would accept without action a $50 million indebtedness to the city shows complicity in theft, grift, and grab. I decline to have Columbus Public Schools pay an accountant's debt to the city with sale of buildings and land. The plan enriches private developers who win tax abatements to strike zero their liability for school funding. The residents of Columbus have supported levies to public schools and libraries with no hesitation. Residents understand the responsibility to model academic excellence to the state and the country. What you do here disgraces students, parents, and neighbors.
Good evening. All right, so we will move on to the next portion, which is Board Matters. In Board Matters, we do have committee updates. So as update for 3 of our committees, we did not have meetings this week, or excuse me, for the month of December, simply because of the incredible work that had been done in the months previous that got us to a space of decision-making and got us to a space of level set that we understand to date. But we did have the opportunity with Policy and Governance Committee. Madam Chair, do you have any words?
Thank you, Board President Cole. So the Policy and Governance Committee did meet 2 Mondays ago now, and the agenda was quite packed. I would encourage anyone who is interested in anything I'm about to say to go back and watch that committee. There was really robust and good discussion, and there's going to be continued discussion on a lot of the items. We talked about an artificial intelligence policy and the artificial intelligence work group led by Mr. Lockhart and team. That work group, I believe, is about 50 people across the district who are contributing meaningfully to help us develop not only a policy, but some guidelines around our tech and innovation space, and specifically as it relates to AI, both in the classroom, in our workspaces, how we protect privacy issues, all the things that relate in that area. So we received an update in the committee on that work, and so good work, thank you. We also received an update on quality points. This board has indicated that it would like to examine the quality points policy, which is actually before us today, but not for the specific discussion about quality points. And I will save that discussion for a little later in the agenda. But we have a work group that is also working with the administration that Dr. Chapman is leading up to really take a deep dive into how quality points work and what is the recommendation for best practices, specifically in academic grading and performance in our classrooms. And so that work, we received a brief update on that and are looking forward to reviewing any additional policy suggestions or language at a future meeting. We also received an update on VCAP and APEX, which this board also charged the Policy and Governance Committee with examining, and so there is a work group formulating on that as well, internal, and so during the committee we heard a little bit of the concerns, had some discussion at the table about how those opportunities are being used in the district and how we might strengthen them. There is not currently a policy on VCAP and APEX, and so part of the question is, should there be? Or should that live in an administrative guideline, or should that live in some other form? And so that is something that the district is looking at, that there's a work group currently working on, and that we will be examining at a future policy and governance meeting. Those were very heavy topics, but we had quite a bit more. So we discussed the graduation requirements policy, which is before the board and will be before the board at a later date. The middle and high school determination of grades policy, which again is before the board tonight, but not for the specific purpose of examining the quality points program. The CDL licenses, drug and alcohol testing of employees without CDL licenses who transport new students in alternative vehicles, which was a law change that prompted some discussion around that policy. And then a number of health policies, a food allergies policy, and parental status of students, which this board has examined to bring that language back up, because we do need to examine that policy, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to put that on an agenda in the new year. We did have a lot of discussion about some of the medical policies, and specifically the care of students with diabetes, and we had a presentation from the administration, and then a presentation from some of the nurses who actually work with our students day to day and administer this policy, who raised some significant concern. We've also heard some concern from our classified staff with that policy as well. And so the Policy and Governance Committee asked that the administration go back and work with our union partners to further develop that policy and make sure that the language that actually would come to the board comports with both their concerns, or at least addresses some of their concerns, and comports with the intent of the law and the requirements that this board must adhere to. And so that was the extent of the committee, and I am very grateful for all of our committee members who really stayed focused in what was a very thorough and robust schedule.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Madam Chair Ingalls? All right, we'll move right on to section 4.2, which is censor resolution. I will read this and offer it as a motion. Board of Education resolution regarding Board Member Simmons, December 16th, 2025. The Board of Education hereby rescinds the requirements and restrictions placed on Board Member Brandon Simmons that was set forth in the board resolution and censor adopted on September 16th, 2024. Is there a motion? Oh, excuse me, this is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Is there any discussion? Mr. Treasurer, call the roll.
Ms. Vera?
Yes.
Ms. Ingalls?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Vice President Adair?
Yes.
President Cole?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Mr. Simmons, did you have a brief comment you wanted to share?
Yes, thank you, President Cole, and thank you, colleagues, for the action that this board just took. As we move into the new year, I look forward to continue serving all of our 47,000 students, and I remain strongly committed to the work of being a board member in this community.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons, and good job this year for your engagement. All right, we'll move on to section 4.3, which is resolution authorizing the superintendent to join a pending class action regarding insulin pricing litigation. Let me pull that up. Lord have mercy.
You want me to read it?
I got it, I'm sorry. My big fingers pressed the wrong buttons. All right. Whereas the Columbus City School District Board of Education Board provides employee health insurance and/or participates in health benefit plans that include coverage for prescription medications, including insulin products, and whereas the board has incurred and continues to incur costs for insulin and related diabetes management products on behalf of its employees, retirees, and dependents, whereas multiple plaintiffs have sued certain insulin manufacturers and pharmacy benefit managers alleging anti-competitive conduct, price fixing, and/or unlawful inflation of insulin prices, leading to increased costs for purchasers of insulin. and whereas these actions have been consolidated in the United States District Court and the District of New Jersey, case number 223 MD 03080 litigation, and whereas public entities that purchased or reimbursed for insulin products during relevant time periods may be eligible to participate in or recover damages through the litigation, and whereas the board finds it in its best interest of the district, its employees, and taxpayers to preserve all possible rights to recovery and to authorize the district to join the litigation as a class member or claimant, or to take other actions as recommended by legal counsel, now therefore be resolved. Resolved that the board authorizes the district to join or otherwise participate in the above referenced litigation, including as a class member or claimant for the purpose of seeking recovery of excess costs allegedly resulting from inflated insulin pricing. And be it further resolved that the board authorizes the superintendent and treasurer or their designee to retain or continue to work with qualified legal counsel experienced in complex litigation and class actions to represent the district's interests in connection with this matter. And be it further resolved that this board authorizes the superintendent, treasurer, and board president or their designee to execute all documents necessary to effectuate participation in the litigation, including representation agreements, claim forms, declarations, or other filings, and be it further resolved that the district shall participate in the litigation only under terms that impose no direct costs, financial risk, or obligation on the district unless expressly approved by the board. And be it further resolved that district administration shall further provide updates to the board regarding material developments in the litigation and any potential recovery. And be it further resolved that the superintendent and treasurer are authorized to take all steps necessary to implement this resolution. This is offered as a motion.
Motion to approve the resolution as listed in board docs.
Second. Is there a second?
I thought you seconded
Okay.
it when you said, because I said motion.
It's late. Thank you.
Ms. Ingles?
We'll call the roll.
Ms. Ingles? Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Vera? Vice President Adair?
Yes.
President Cole?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you so very much. All right. For the subsequent policies for 4.4 and 4.5, I will have Board Member Ingles, please.
Thank you, Board President Cole. So this is the second read of the Safe Green Schools policy, which is 7460.01. We, at the first read, gave a little bit of background. You heard tonight in public comment that there has been a work group who has been working well over a year since this board passed the resolution on February 4th earlier this year, declaring its intent to work toward carbon neutrality in this district by 2050 to ensure that our students and our staff are working in safe, climate resistance environments, and we are using our taxpayer money efficiently and wisely in investing in long-term strategies that are both climate resilient and cost effective. And so we had been working over the last year with a work group and a team who has done some amazing, amazing work. And it was this board's charge that through the resolution, some pieces of the guidance toward the administration and the benchmarking, which will actually ensure that we hit our goals, would be placed into a policy rather than a resolution. So through partnership with the administration and with a number of advocates who have assisted in helping us understand federal grants, federal grant funding opportunities, understanding how we can get solar assessments and those types of things for our buildings. We have done a lot of work over the last year, and I am super grateful to President Cole and to Vice President Adair for their work in making sure that we bring this work forward to this board. I do want to share a little bit that some of the policy is a good opportunity for us to have those guidelines in place, and to make sure that we have a designated person. So we have been working with Columbus City Council over the last year, who has indicated their interest in making sure that we have climate resilient solutions in place, and helping us secure the funding where it is possible. And so thank you to Councilman Weish and his office, who have been a great partner in some of that work over the last year. And we are so excited to continue that work with you moving forward. But that is work that has not been proposed in a full board meeting because there hasn't been a policy that requires it to come forward. And so part of this policy is to ensure that the board is up to date on the very, very good work that is happening, and that the community stays up to date on the good work that's happening behind the scenes with our teams, to ensure that we are hitting our goals and that we are doing things that positively impact not only our students and our staff, our community, but also our checkbook at a time where that has been very, very difficult. And so some of this is a reporting structure. Some of this is making sure that there is a designated person who can actually make sure, or so that our partners know who to go to and understand that there is a designated person who's working on this, and making sure that we are moving forward and we are hitting our goals and we're doing all the things that we need to be doing. So I am thrilled about that work, and the benchmarking process will help us in making sure that we are actually on a path. Because it's one thing for a board to sit up here and say we have these big lofty goals and plan to hit them. It's another one to implement a process that will actually ensure we do. And so that's what we're trying to do here, and I'm very, very excited about that. First, I wanted to turn it over to Treasurer Cook, who has been working with us on the finance side, to share a little bit about what he knows about the cost-saving measures and the things that we have been examining and working on over the last year, in order to not only save money, but when we do spend money, make sure that it is as long-term and efficient as possible. So, Treasurer Cook.
Yeah, thank you, Board Member Ingalls. I've had the privilege over the last year to work with this group, Superintendent Chapman's team, our facilities team, our utilities team, to really dive in to see how we can save money, not just in the short term, but the long term. And green energy is one of those pathways. I think this policy lays a good foundation for the district so that we have an analysis behind it. As we've looked at projects, we've done some of this benchmarking work. There's one specific project we're working on right now at East. We've done a financial analysis of that. There is a positive return in the long run with this. So again, as we embark in this green energy journey to become sustainable, not just with energy usage, but our finances, these metrics are going to be key and play a good role in how I can update the board from a financial standpoint. The other exciting thing within policy, if there is such a thing, for Dr. Chapman and I, it's to have a point person that we can specifically relay our teams to work through this process, because it is extensive. We're navigating a lot of federal challenges with respect to grant funding, deadlines, timelines, et cetera. So I think as we move forward with these projects and we make recommendations as a team, we want to make sure that there's a positive return on investment with these programs, and that's exactly what this benchmarking will allow us to do. So I'm excited to have a policy in place that gives me a fiscal framework and to bring back to the board to work with in the long run.
Thank you. And I also wanted to invite up our COO, Mr. Woods, and Jeff Rowe. I saw him earlier. He is usually in the back somewhere. There he is. Our facilities team, who have been working so diligently, and specifically, Jeff, thank you so much for all your work over the last year. You've been great to work with the team, and so anything that you could share about the good work that Columbus City Schools has been engaging in, the things that we're exploring to not only have cost savings measures, but to really make sure we are hitting the goals.
Thank you. I'll wait for a minute. I think we're queuing up a short PowerPoint presentation that we'll cover. While we're doing that, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you and congratulations to those of you that we're celebrating tonight. You know who you are. Good evening, Board Chair Cole, Vice Chair Adair, board members, Superintendent Runcie, and members of the audience. We're excited to be here to talk a little bit about our CCS Safe Green Schools progress update. We have been doing some really good work. We embraced this policy and we're excited about moving towards a carbon neutral environment by 2050. Through cross-department collaborations and external partnerships, Columbus City Schools will endeavor to continue to ensuring that its schools are safe, healthy, and sustainable, and that combating climate change is a vital component of our mission. The Buildings and Grounds team have been involved in these efforts for a period of time. We have a couple CCS employees who are certified energy managers, including Jeff Rowe and Matt Wolf, and one energy manager in training, Mary Holmquist, through the Association of Energy Engineers. Jeff Rowe, who will speak shortly, is our Director of Buildings and Grounds. He has attended and contributed substantially to our city's monthly buildings work group meeting to enact existing building portfolio standards. Additionally, a CCS employee, Matthew Wolf, who could not join us tonight, is the current president of the Ohio Capital City Chapter of the Association of Energy Engineers. The purpose of this group is to spread information about new processes, technologies that improve energy efficiency. Jeff Rowe is also the past president of that chapter. At this point, I'd like to bring up Mr. Jeff Rowe to the podium, who's going to talk a little more about some of the past and recent efforts that we've produced.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. I'd like to start by emphasizing that operations always prioritizes cost efficiency, second only to supporting the student development. Looking at our performance, we measure building efficiency using the industry standard Weather Normalized Site Energy Utilization Index, EUI. We are proud to report that our EUI has dropped 7% district-wide between 2018, when I started, and 2024. This is a significant accomplishment, especially considering that we added millions of square feet of air conditioning across the district during that same time frame. Again, we have lower energy use now than even with all student-facing rooms having AC. You'll also notice a major drop in greenhouse gas emission intensity. This reduction is largely attributable to our strategic fuel switching from natural gas to electric in many buildings as part of Operation Fix-It. This, combined with our overall efficiency gains, has been further supported by the electric grid's transition from coal to natural gas in Ohio. 6 schools currently use geothermal systems for improved HVAC efficiency. These sites consistently show a lower energy utilization than the district average, and they are exceptionally robust in terms of uptime. To illustrate the design, the well field, which involves 100 wells drilled 400 feet deep, is hidden discreetly underneath areas like the playground and parking lot. We participate in a synchronized reserves load shedding program. This involves reducing power consumption for brief periods, typically 5 to 15 minutes during power supply emergencies, such as when a large generator unexpectedly trips offline. Our participation in this program helps to actively stabilize the electrical grid during these transition events. Our commitment to green energy is evident in our power supply. 50% of the power supplied by the city's utility is sourced from green power. This is possible because the City of Columbus purchases renewable energy credits in addition to their owned generation. 20% of our total electric is renewable energy as a result. While the HVAC system remains the largest energy user, other energy efficiency efforts include a major lighting overhaul. Most facilities have been converted from fluorescent to LED lights. We have been successful in securing outside funding for these projects. CCS received $300,000 from the state of Ohio for LED lighting. We also received approximately $200,000 in incentives from AEP Ohio when the state energy efficiency programs were available. Our Buildings and Grounds Department has been highly collaborative in researching future energy solutions. We researched solar power with third-party organizations like Building Power Resource Group and the Ohio Organizing Collaborative. These groups also introduced us to Lawyers for Good Governance and CMTA, an engineering firm specializing in converting existing buildings to have geothermal systems. We engage in discussions with consultants from Guidehouse, an energy-related professional services advisory firm that works with the government sector. We have partnered with HEPE Engineering to perform a professional-grade energy study at multiple buildings to quantify the potential costs and benefits of both solar roofing and ground mount applications. We're working closely with multiple internal departments, including the Treasurer's Office, as we seek sustainable funding sources for these long-term investments. Finally, we met with Ed O'Reilly and Janet Rautzung to discuss establishing apprenticeships or certification training programs, investing in our future skilled trades workforce. Our partners at Green Columbus have provided several large-scale tree donations valued at approximately $200,000. These are 3-inch diameter caliper shade trees that directly help the city of Columbus achieve its goal of increasing the urban tree canopy. Furthermore, we have been proactive in seeking external funding for sustainable projects, applying for the EPA's Community Fund Grant for trees, the Ohio Department of Development's Advanced Energy Grant for the rest of the LED conversions, the Great Lakes Environmental Justice Thriving Communities Grant-Making Program, also for LED light conversions, and the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation Safety Intervention Grant to improve workplace safety. Almost all of this was in the last year without a policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. So I want to applaud the team and say thank you so much for all the work that you all have done, and want to see that work continue. A lot of that has been, again, consistent conversation, consistent meetings, and the commitment that this board made back in February. And so with that, I would go ahead and move that this board adopt the policy as is written in its second read.
Second.
Motioned and seconded. Is there any discussion?
There is.
Thank you. Dr. Pierce?
Thank you so much. Thank you to our team for that presentation. And I want to take a moment to thank Alex Trevino and all of our additional staff members that have been doing due diligence and this continued clean, green work even prior to this school year or this year that this policy has been in the making. Our district has been very diligent in that work, and so I want to thank those team members for their work in the past. I appreciate the historical analysis that you all have given. I'm concerned with the timelines that are listed in the proposal and some of the inconsistencies. So if you look at that first paragraph where it says achieving 100% renewable power by 2035, we then go down to item 2A, and the last half of that first sentence where it says by 50% by 2030 school year, using 2025 as a baseline, and power district operations exclusively with electricity from renewables by 2035 where possible. So I think there's an inconsistency there. I would motion that we strike out that last part in, again, item 2A. Strike out by 50% by 2030 school year using 2025 as the baseline, and power district operations exclusively with electricity from renewables by 2035 where possible.
So with that, Chair Ingalls, do you have any thoughts, response? You have a counter? Does this make sense?
Yeah, I mean, so what the policy does is it reads off of the what am I looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? Resolution that was passed, which commits to climate neutrality by 2050. And so when we look at a carbon-free district by 2050, achieving 100% renewable power by 2035 and 100% clean renewable energy using all of its usage in all of its facilities by 2050, I do believe that that is very consistent with the resolution that was passed that explicitly stated the governing board of the Columbus City Schools hereby commits to a goal for carbon-free district by 2050, achieving 100% clean renewable energy in all of its facilities by 2050. So that is the intent of that language there. I think when we look at 2A, and we're talking about language that says work with and expand upon existing benchmarking process to set long-term benchmarks to achieve carbon-free district by 2050. The district will pursue opportunities to expand renewable energy use and energy efficiency improvements, prioritizing projects with positive educational, fiscal, and operational impacts by 50% in the 2030 school year, using 2025 as a baseline, and power district operations exclusively with electricity from renewables by 2035 where possible. That was intended to give some benchmarking so that we had basically a report out and we had the ability to hold people accountable based on where we are currently with 2025. And so using 2025 as the current baseline, reducing by 50% in the 2030 year. So we are attempting to put some guidance in place over the course of the next few years so that we understand as a board where we are and whether or not we are going to hit the goals, and we understand what exactly we are trying to achieve. That's what that language was intended to achieve.
Thank you. So your argument is that this is merely a benchmark that it provides a guideline opportunity to understand, based on baseline data, how to report this moving forward.
Yes.
In addition to that, you're arguing too that there is consistency in the language.
We are attempting to achieve consistency with the language by also providing benchmarks that are actually achievable.
So again, I'm pointing to the inconsistency because the language in the prior paragraph says achieving 100% renewable power by 2035. And again, what I'm offering to strike out says where possible. So if you strike out that latter part, you have the goal to achieving the 100% already cited in that first opening paragraph.
Yeah, I think the difference is it's 2030, not 2035. So by 50% by 2030, the top says 100% renewable power by 2035. I would be happy to strike out the where possible language, but I do think the benchmark of 2030 versus 2035, hitting 50% by 2030 and then 100% by 2035 is important to explicitly lay out. I think that is part of the benchmarking intent because those are as a 5-year span at which we should have an update, we should understand where we're going, and at a time where AEP is spiking the heck out of prices right now for consumers, and Columbus City Schools is a major consumer. We had our board president, our board vice president, who actually went and testified at a local PUCO meeting on behalf of our district, and thank you for doing that. So I think the intent here with the language is to provide that 50% by 2030 and 100% by 2035 so that we have some clarity in where we are so that we can make sure we're going to hit the goal in 2035 and not just wait until we get there to see what happens.
Thank you for that. Clarifying then, you said that you are amenable to striking out where possible.
Yes.
Thank you. So I will amend my motion to include the where possible. So the motion is to strike out where possible. So there is consistency between the two areas.
Madam Vice President.
I just recall when we were drafting this that the where possible was added by our staff, and I'm wondering if you all could remind us why that was added.
Maurice Woods, Chief Operating Officer, through the chair. When we were reviewing this, we understand that we're kind of in the early stages of this work, and we did believe that some of those targets are relatively aggressive. So we thought the where possible today was appropriate, and then as we get into this work and we move towards 2025, 2030, we can then adapt the policy to be more specific, depending on if we're on track to hit the targets, the benchmarks that were previously established. So it was really just a way to provide us some wiggle room as we launch into this work, and then we can update the policy as necessary. That was the intent.
I very much appreciate you sharing that. It is an aggressive timeline.
It is a timeline that can be achieved by sourcing our power from renewable energy. That is a simple fix that could happen tomorrow if we so choose. But giving ourselves a little bit of time, knowing that we have these projects that we're exploring, knowing that there are lots of options on the table for how we achieve ultimate climate neutrality, but initially 50% reduction, I think is pretty reasonable, especially considering not only the existential crisis of climate change, but the existential crisis of our budget.
Can I ask Mr. Woods a question that aligns with this? So, Mr. Woods, given that you and your team are doing this incredible and great work, then I pose the question to you. Should we, your preference, would your preference be the 50% by 2030 or the 100% by 2035?
So I usually would confer or concur or talk to my team and my staff who are closer to the work before making any commitments at this level. Based on that, what we've reviewed and what's in the policy draft is something that we are comfortable with. So I would argue that we move the policy forward as written. That would be my preference.
That's your preference, even though you said it is an aggressive timeline and that you are seeking for future revisions as you start to do the work.
Yes.
That's just what you said?
Yes,
Okay.
my preference is that we maintain the policy as is.
Okay, if you want to be held accountable, gotcha.
All right, so thank you for that update. Thank you for that information. It sounds like there's a motion on the floor to strike the where possible language. Is there a second?
Okay, second area of discussion. When you go to item 3, items, There was no second, yes.
There was no
This is
second.
the next discussion point. All right, so the next question that I have is item 3A, 3B, and 3C seem to be conditioned upon an FMP. Currently, there's no FMP. The citing timeline could be unreasonable given that we do not have an FMP. So the motion would be to strike that, A, B, and C.
There's a motion to strike clauses A, B, and C. Is there a second? There is no second.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else?
In item 6B, where it says the superintendent or designee shall report annually on the board's progress towards sustainable goals. I find it interesting that it doesn't cite a date or when that is due by. So there should be an addition, and I would motion that it say on or before the closing of the book meeting. Sure you would like that.
Can you move to rephrase? Is that a June date that you're speaking of?
I'll defer to the chair to identify the date.
It was not my language.
You sure?
You're welcome to.
So it
explain
would
your
be
language.
then, I would say the first or that second meeting of June.
President Cole?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, President Cole, could Dr. Pierce just repeat the first part? I missed the first couple. If we could just, I don't know what motion she's trying to make.
So now we're on a motion
6,
to
reporting
update the language in item 6B.
Mm-hmm.
The superintendent or designee shall report, so we would put in there on or before the closing books meeting, which would be the second meeting in June, annually to the board on progress towards sustainable goals.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and seconded. We can call the roll.
Ms. Vera?
Yes.
Ms. Ingles?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Vice President Adair?
Yes.
President Cole?
Yes.
Motion
All right, motion passes. All right, now with that, let's get back to the initial motion that was offered with this resolution. Now, we've got an amendment to it that I think is a viable one. Let's move forward with a second on, this has been motioned and seconded.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is motioned and seconded. Let's call the roll on this.
Ms. Ingles?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
I just want to, as I say yes, to highlight that our team has said this is an aggressive timeline. I want us to be very cautious and tempered with how we implement this, understanding that we are facing a number of cuts that are directly impacting the academic outcomes of our students.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Ms. Vera?
Yes.
Vice President Adair?
Yes.
President Cole?
Emphatically, yes. Thank you. All right, motion passes. Again, I want to thank the board moving forward. As earlier mentioned, Vice President Adair and myself attended the PUCO meeting, Public Utilities of Ohio, Commission of Ohio, and provided testimony at that meeting. I'm excited to understand and learn how the district is taking proactive measures to think about how we minimize costs on utilities, but maximize their utilization for classrooms and staff settings where we need that. So thank you for your hard work, everybody at the table. All right, we will move forward to.
President Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, can I just say real quick why we did that?
Yes, please.
Because with the rate increase, we pay about $11 million in electricity right now, and with the proposed rate increase, it would go up to $13 million, which would be another $2 million we would have to find in our budget to pay, which means additional cuts that would have to come. So it was important that we went and let UCO know that. And about 60% of our buildings right now are hooked up to AEP. So while we're working very closely with the city on green energy, not so much with AEP, but it's 60% of our buildings. So it is important that we fight every step of the way for every dollar. And just, that's why we went and let them know. And they'll be actually a hearing on this case coming up, but I also understand that there's utility costs rising on other parts of utilities as well. So again, keeping an eye on that, because in reality, it's a double hit to our residents, because you're going to get your own increase if you're on AEP, but then you pay our bill too, right, through your tax dollars. So it's a double hit for all of us. So it was important that we went and did that. And I want to thank President Cole for coming down with me, and the treasurer for providing us information, as well as our facilities team, Jeff, for giving us all the information we needed to tell our story, to tell your story.
All right, thank you, Madam Vice President. All right, moving forward, we will go to section 4.5. First read, middle and high school determination of grades. Again, Ms. Ingalls.
Thank you, Board President Cole. So this policy change you will see is simply the insertion of the letters CTAG, C-T-A-G, which stands for Career Technical Assurance Guide. It relates to our career tech programs and the grading of our career tech programs. So there is a new law, Ohio Revised Code 3313.6031, which became effective September 30th, 2025, that requires each city, local exempted village, and joint vocational school district, as well as any other high school that offers grades 9 through 12, to adopt and implement a policy for awarding grades and calculating class standing for career technical education, which is the CTAG designation. It has to be put on the 5-point scale, and our team has indicated that if we do not change this policy, they cannot submit the grades that they need for the end of the semester. So Dr. Chapman, can you confirm with me, do you need this policy tonight? Is it this urgent?
Yes, it is time sensitive.
So it is time sensitive so that our career tech students have appropriate grading that aligns with current Ohio law. And so what I would ask, and I want to call out, this is a policy that we are actually looking at, and so we will be revisiting within the next few months. Because we are looking at it for quality points and whether or not quality points make sense as written or what we're going to do moving forward. There is that work group that is working on that piece. But specifically, because of the law change and because of the grading scale that they are using in the career tech space, we need to make sure that our policy is updated so that our team can submit the grades for our students to get them in time this semester. And so what I would ask is that the board go ahead and waive the second reading and adopt the policy tonight. So I will make the motion to waive the second reading, and if it's appropriate.
I'll second. I do have a discussion point.
Motioned and seconded. Please.
So given that we are going to do this in an expedited manner, I think it's also appropriate that we respond to the emails that we received last year from our staff members, one in particular from Matthew O'Connor, who was a teacher at Beechcroft High School. And in essence, what he pointed out in his email, when it comes to the quality points versus percentage points, what happens with that is that oftentimes students are penalized and given the lower grade. And so it would be my, I guess, motion that in two particular places.
There's a motion on the floor.
There's already a motion on the floor.
So I second that, but I would want to add another motion to it to acknowledge his emails.
You would amend my motion.
So I'll amend her motion to respond to his email where he simply asked us.
One moment.
Where he simply asked the board that in the cases where the percentage-based grade is higher than the quality point grade, that the teacher be able to use that higher grade versus the lower grade. And he sent that email to all of us and asked that the policy be updated to include that.
So here's the thing that I want to make very clear. Number one, and thank you so much for your care and concern about the previous email query sent, that the superintendent has more opportunity to answer, certainly moving forward. Tonight's issue is about CTAG and state alignment and being very firm with that designation. The further discussion that's going to happen is specifically around some of those concerns that were arisen a year back with this particular educator.
I completely understand that. I'm bringing it to the table, so it's a part of the discussion right now.
I thank you. It's duly noted, and
Thank you.
it's not seconded.
President Cole, right now, the motion on the floor is to waive the first reading.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Pierce, you wouldn't really amend that. You can't amend the text of the motion to adopt the policy because the motion to adopt the policy hasn't been made. We're just considering whether or not to waive the reading, and that's where we are right now.
Thank you. I was saying that because the chair was in my ear saying I had to amend hers to be able to speak.
Thank you very kindly. So we will call the question. At this point in time, we're going to call the question.
Ms. Reyes?
So we're just with the motion?
Yep.
To waive the reading.
It has been motioned and seconded for the second read. The motion has been called.
Yes to waiving the second reading.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
Yes.
Ms. Ingles?
Yes.
Ms. Vera?
Yes.
Vice President Adair?
Yes.
President Cole?
Yes. All right. Now we will vote on the actual motion.
President Cole, I'd like
It's
to
a
motion
discussion
to adopt.
point.
I'd like to motion to adopt the policy as uploaded in board docs.
Second.
Motioned and seconded. Call the roll, Treasurer.
Ms. Vera?
Yes.
Ms. Ingles?
Yes.
Dr. Pierce?
As I vote yes, again, I want to uplift what we've received, that there's some discrepancy between the percentage-based grades and the quality point grades, and hopefully that will be dealt with due diligence in the work group.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Vice President Adair?
Yes.
President Cole?
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you so much. All right. That is waived and adopted. Okay, we will move, and I'll have you cover this one as well, Board Member Ingles. 4.6, first read for Policy 4162.01, drug and alcohol testing of classified employees without CDL licenses who transport students in alternative vehicles, not DOT testing, non-DOT testing.
Thank you, Board President Cole. This was one of our policies that we analyzed at the Policy and Governance Committee. It sounds like there is still a bit of discussion and work that needs to be had internally, but our teams have seen the policy. I am just asking for a first read on this policy so that it can be taken up at a later board meeting. The reason for the change in this policy is that the state law has changed to require drug and alcohol testing and methods. And so that is the purpose of the policy, is to simply comply with what is required by state law. But I do want to recognize that we have employees who will be affected, and many of those employees will be represented by unions. And so just ask that our team, in between now and the second reading, allow our union representatives specifically, but our employees to have the opportunity to provide any input and feedback into that policy before we bring that back. But again, this is simply a change to make sure that we are complying with current law.
Board Member Pierce.
I would like to also add, if we are also asking that conversations be had with our employees and union members, that while we are also considering future policies that are to be a 3,000 series, that we also consider how this potential policy could and should affect the coaches that also transport students throughout our district, so that we are mindful and having due diligence in ensuring that all of our students are transported safely, and that includes our coaches as well.
Thank you, Dr. Pierce, for uplifting that. Again, I think the greatest salient point is that we're including all stakeholders, Dr. Chapman, to ensure that there's the proper feedback to give us further insight as to how to make this something that meets the needs of everybody, particularly as this collective bargain piece begins to ensue next year as well. So thank you for that. All right, thank you for the good work on that end. The subsequent policies, 4.7 through 4.10 through 4.10, all deal with work that we have already done with regards to closing facilities or closing buildings. Each one of these represents an opportunity to demolish. I'll begin with the resolution to demolish Broadley Elementary School. On December 17th, 2024, the board voted to close several older facilities. Directing the closures will not occur prior to the 2026-27 school year. In furtherance of the above, the board now directs the superintendent to implement the demolition of Broadley Elementary School located at 3039 Maryland Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43209 upon closure.
Second.
This is offered as a motion. It has been seconded. Is there discussion? Since there is none, call the roll.
Vice President Adair,
Yes.
Ms. Vera,
Yes.
Ms. Ingles,
Yes.
Dr. Pierce,
Yes.
Ms. Reyes,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
President Cole.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes. We'll move to the subsequent resolution, which is 4.8, resolution to demolish Buckeye Middle School. Is it necessary for me to read?
No.
Okay. If there is no, this motion, seconded.
Second.
All right. Motion is seconded. We can call the roll.
Ms. Vera,
Yes.
Ms. Ingles,
Yes.
Dr. Pierce,
Yes.
Ms. Reyes,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
Vice President Adair,
Yes.
President Cole.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes. We'll move on to 4.9, which is resolution, 4.9, which is to demolish McGuffey facility. Did I pass something?
Move.
Second.
Okay, motion is seconded. All right, we call the roll.
Ms. Ingles,
Yes.
Dr. Pierce,
Yes.
Ms. Reyes,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
Ms. Vera,
Yes.
Vice President Adair,
Yes.
President Cole.
All right, yes. Thank you. Motion passes. Now we'll move to 4.10, 4.10, resolution to demolish Moeller Elementary School.
Moved.
Second.
Motion is seconded. Call the roll.
Dr. Pierce,
Yes.
Ms. Reyes,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
Ms. Ingles,
Yes.
Ms. Vera,
Yes.
Vice President Adair,
Yes.
President Cole.
Yes. Thank you all. Job well done. We will move on to sections 5.1 through 7.1 with executive level reports. Madam Superintendent, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, President Cole, Vice President Adair, members of the board, to our staff members, community members who are here with us this evening. Just have a few brief updates for us this evening. Earlier this week on Monday, we had our second inclement weather day or snow day of the year. This is a great opportunity. I want to remind all of our families to please check your contact information in the parent portal. If you are not receiving our text messages, phone calls, and emails, we want to make sure that we correct that and make sure we have the correct information so that we can reach out to you and you can receive important updates in real time. In addition, I want to provide a few updates on our school realignment efforts for Broadley, Moeller, and Fairwood Elementary School. As a part of our ongoing school realignment, Broadley and Moeller are moving forward with the process, and Fairwood, we're now engaging with families for Fairwood. Letters are being sent to families in the Broadley and Moeller communities announcing their students' neighborhood school assignments for the upcoming school year. Letters will be sent before winter break to families in the Fairwood community outlining their students' school assignments for the upcoming school year for 26-27. Beginning in January, families will also receive additional communication explaining the option to remain in their assigned neighborhood school or the opportunity to participate in school choice through the lottery process. Families whose students attend one of the 3 buildings closing at the end of this academic school year, Broadley, Moeller, and Fairwood, will be eligible for a preferential lottery process, which will open in January. Detailed communication about the lottery process, timelines, and next steps will be shared with families in early January. Throughout this process, the district remains committed to consistent, clear communication, early outreach, and support for families as they plan their students' next school placement. In addition, I want to talk just a little bit about the board's vote just now regarding the demolitions. As a part of the votes that the board just made, I want to make sure that our families and our community understand that the demolitions are most likely to occur during the next school year for Broadley, Moeller, and Fairwood because those are the first schools that are transitioning. These 3 buildings will continue to serve students through the end of this school year. So for Broadley, Moeller, and Fairwood, our board took action tonight on the next step for those buildings, but that will not interfere or disrupt the learning that's happening in those 3 school communities this school year. In addition, Buckeye Middle School, Como, Duxbury, Everett, which is the home of Columbus Gifted Academy, and the McGuffey facility, which is the home of COS, these buildings will not be demolished until students and programs have been fully relocated. So I want our community to know that while we're taking action tonight, we still have time, opportunity, and space to plan for a smooth and seamless transition for the academic programming for our students at those schools. Again, we want to ensure everyone that student learning will remain or will not be interrupted during this time and throughout this process, and will continue to provide updates to our families and community members so that they can follow the process. We are continuing to also provide updated information on our district website where families can go for all of the information, but the impacted school communities will hear directly from us. Earlier tonight, our team met with the staff at Fairwood Elementary School to talk with the staff, and we're planning meetings to talk with the families so that they understand and have a very good idea of what the next steps are for them personally. And in closing, I just want to, as we round out the calendar year, not the school year, this is our last board meeting of the year, and we approach our winter break. I certainly want to wish all of our students, our families, our staff members who are still here with us, either in person or joining us online, certainly a restful and joyful holiday season. This Friday, December 19th, is the last day of school before the winter recess. And for all of our parents, please be reminded that Friday is an early dismissal day. So every student, every school will dismiss 30 minutes early on Friday so we can plan accordingly. And we look forward to welcoming back all of our families on Monday, January 5th in the new year. This winter break offers an important opportunity to rest, recharge, and spend time with our loved ones, and after a busy and meaningful first half of the year. And I look forward to continuing to support this important work together in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. We'll go to Internal Auditor O'Connor. Good evening, good sir.
Good evening. I don't have a report, but I do have an update. Last week, the Ohio Department of Medicaid announced the expansion of the the Medicaid Schools Program initiative effective January 1st of 2026. That would include expanded student eligibility, new direct services and provider types, and some of the services we currently do now will become reimbursable. So that's a real opportunity to enhance our Medicaid reimbursements. So I just want to make sure that we're aware that there is a risk if we don't seize that opportunity. That was the only thing I had this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Internal Auditor, and thank you so much for your service this year. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have worked with you throughout my tenure, and most assuredly a pleasure to have you as leader in this seat, doing incredible work with all of us. Thank you. Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. Just wanted to take a moment to personally thank Board Member Reyes, Board Member Vera, and Board President Cole. Been a tremendous outpouring of support tonight from the community in appreciation of the job you do on behalf of the staff, but most importantly, our students. I want to thank you for your service and for the support you've shown to my team and the administrative team. I'm sure your families are going to be ecstatic to have you back on Tuesday nights. You're welcome to join us virtually if you so choose. But again, thank you for your service to this district. I've appreciated my time with you this year. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. We will move on to the consent agenda. All right. Again, we are approving sections 8.1 through 23.9. With that, is there a motion to accept the consent agenda? It has been motioned and seconded. Mr. Treasurer.
Ms. Reyes.
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
Dr. Pierce.
Yes.
Ms. Ingalls.
Yes.
Ms. Vera.
Yes.
Vice President Adair.
Yes.
President Cole.
Yes. Motion passes. All right. I want to, as we move into board acknowledgments, I want to take the opportunity to share my deepest gratitude in having the opportunity to work with you, Dr. Chapman, throughout the 7 years you've been with us. I remember you being an early rock star with Dr. Talisa Dixon and the great work you did in that space. It has been an absolute honor to be able to go through what was really an incredibly tough year. I had an interesting conversation with a group today that said, you got 10 years worth of stuff done literally in a year. And that was not an embellishment. It really was not exaggeration at all. To borrow from my brother senator, it was not hyperbole. We got a ton load of stuff done that would literally take years of time to accomplish. What it does is speak to the potential of what this board is capable of and what we are collaboratively capable of together when we really focus. Hopefully it doesn't have to take tough times like what we've experienced to continue that kind of work. But I just needed to share with you that it's been a blessing to be able to work with you. As well, Mr. Cook, it's been an absolute honor to serve alongside you as well and support you in all of your work. I wish you all the best, and we are going to move to section 24.1, which is board acknowledgments. Bless you all and thank you. Okay, so with that, are we still, I don't know that we're still doing a video. I think we did that in the previous. One. So we don't, if it is, you want to do the video, would you? Okay, all right. So no video. Okay, what I want to do though, absolutely.
Another time.
What I want to do though is definitely have the opportunity to walk into some wonderful community folks who have, thank you so deeply. I thank you so much for lending and gifting your family members to us throughout the time of their term. In addition to that, for staying over this late to hang and provide warm, loving comments. With that, I'm going to honor my 17-year colleague and that of Board Member Reyes. It's been an absolute blessing. You are not just my sister colleague. You are my friend. You're not just my friend. You're my neighbor. Your husband is like a brother to me. Both of you are very dear to my heart and to my family. I want to offer the opportunity for Ms. Carol Perkins, former president of Columbus City School Board of Education, to come to our podium and offer kind words on behalf of Board Member Reyes.
To Board President Cole, Vice President Adair, board members, Superintendent Chapman, Treasurer Cook, and Internal Auditor O'Connor, good evening.
Good evening.
It is with a great honor, truly an honor, to stand here before you to recognize and celebrate someone who has given so much of herself to this district, Board Member Ramona Reyes. It feels like just yesterday that as board president, I had the privilege of welcoming you as the first Latina selected and elected to the Columbus Board of Education. That moment mattered. It mattered to the board, to this community, and to every student who finally could see themselves reflected at this table. And tonight, we honor something rare. 17 years is no joke. I'd probably venture to say that you're probably the longest running serving member of the Columbus Board in recent memory, definitely in this century. 17 years of steady leadership and of unwavering commitment to public education. Longevity like that doesn't happen without heart, resilience, and deep purpose. When you first joined the board, you arrived with fire and passion. There was no task too big, no issue too complex. But what truly set you apart was how you balanced that passion with patience and wisdom, especially during difficult conversations when calm leadership was most needed. Your journey always inspired me, Ramona. From your humble beginnings, you became the first in your large family to journey from Texas to the Ohio State University. You never forgot where you came from, and it showed on how you served. I remember celebrating your marriage to John Bishop Coates and witnessing the love you have for your family, a love that grounded and guided your work. It was a blessing to serve alongside with you, not only as a board member, but also in leadership, and to watch you grow into a respected leader on this board. You led with integrity, you led with courage and compassion. In closing, I want to say this to you this evening. I want you to leave with one final thought. When you leave this room tonight, leave the could-haves, the would-haves, and the should-haves at this table.
All right.
Instead, carry with you what truly matters. Remember the graduations, the pride of the students. Remember the classrooms that shared their work with you. Remember the countless hands, probably thousands, of hands you shook as you placed diplomas into hopeful futures. That, my friend, is the fruit of your labor. This is where your sacrifices and your memories live. Ramona, congratulations on a job exceedingly well done. You will be remembered not just for how long you served, but how deeply you cared and how much you gave to Columbus City Schools. Be well, my friend, and God bless. Thank you.
All right. Next up to speak is W. Shauna Gibbs, former Vice President and also former board member for Columbus City Schools. Welcome, my sister colleague. Thank you for joining us this evening.
That is a long way.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am W. Shauna Gibbs Ayers, and it is a privilege and an honor to be here. So, President Cole, Vice President Adair, Treasurer Auditor, Superintendent, thank you for setting aside this time to honor our friends and our colleagues. So, I am going to start by thanking Board Member Raymona Reyes. As a board member, as a former VP, as a long-term board member, long in this history, I am greeted by the words of Ecclesiastes 9:11, and it says, "The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one that endureth to the end, to the one that sits in the meeting and to the end, the one that sits in countless town halls and to the end, the one that walks through every building to see what's going on till the end, to the one who doesn't cut people off until the end." And you have done that time and time again. You signed up in 2010. You re-upped in 2014. You said, "I'm staying" in 2018, and your finale in 2022. The community sent you back for 4 terms, for 17 years plus an appointed year. And it's because of that race. And to end a race, you have to start it, you have to stay, and don't sway. And you've done none of that. You've been consistent in who you are. You've been that person, that vote, but the one who doesn't take anything lightly. And for that, I am grateful and I am thankful. Even though you're not from Columbus, like some other people. As a proud COS graduate, our spirit cannot be demolished, but it can be reinvented in a new, brand new facility, state of the art in 43211. But you have heard all the things in many, many years. We've closed many buildings, we opened many programs. You have led in public engagement, kicking it with CCS. You've chaired numerous search committees and run our 5th or 6th superintendent, but you have stuck and stayed through it all. And for that, I am grateful. And it says that in 2 Timothy, you have fought the fight. You have fought the good fight. You have run the race. You have finished your course, and you have kept the faith in this district, in your colleagues, in the work, in the community that sometimes doesn't like us back. But yet and still you have done that. And so for that, I say congratulations. I am proud of you. Oh, and the building we stand in, this 3700 happened on a 4-3 vote. And you, my dear, was in the 4. And that is why we have a 3700. You've done those, and thank you, Board Member Cole, for that vote as well. You've done that, and we appreciate it. And I am eternally grateful for that. Board Member Cole, if you will indulge me to also say to our esteemed alum, Board Member Christina Vetter, proud Columbus City School graduate, 2003 of Brookhaven, which we closed, which we were on the board for that difficult decision. But both of you, distinguished Hispanic Ohioans from the Ohio Commission on Latina Affairs, both Board Member Reyes, and you coming on in 2021 as a member, Vice President in 2023, and President in 2024, I would deem your administration as the power of one. It only takes one term to be committed, to do the work, to make the impact, to make the calls. We talked many times, and you were one of the board members who asked, who listened, but stood fearlessly. It didn't take time or tenure, did not fade your tenacity. You stood strong for Columbus City Schools and unwavering in the face of giants and you did not cower. And I wouldn't let you cower. I had your back in all of it. So I, too, am very, very proud of you. I wish you well, and I wish you a great, great future in all your Tuesday back. Board Member Cole, you got somebody to speak for you? However, the times we've traveled, the road less traveled. Two roads diverged in Yellowwood, and sad you could not travel both. And it goes on to say, be one traveler long I stood, look down the one as far as you could. But you took the road less traveled by, and that made all the difference. You served as VP. You advocated for the west side of Columbus, unwavering, all day, every day. You made tough decisions. You stood in the gap. Your vice presidency and your presidency is a culmination of years of dedication and commitment to your kids who are CCS alum, when it wasn't easy, right, to be a board member and to come and hear your kids tell you the truth. Not what we know, not what we thought.
Their truth, but yeah.
Their truth. But they didn't like pink slime in their hamburgers, right? And what they thought was in their building, but it kept you fresh and relevant. To all three of you, I'm eternally grateful. To all three of you, your time, talent, and treasure. To the remaining board, this is your work. They're leaving you a great legacy and a great building, but it isn't easy. Vice President Adair talked about being in the 7, and your 4 will welcome 3 more to round out the 7. It's a sacred 7, it's a solid 7, but if it's not a unified 7, it doesn't work. So I wish you well, strength, comfort, and learning, and use their phone numbers. Thank you, and y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now it is my absolute honor on behalf of Board Member Reyes to welcome the Bishop, Reverend John T. Coates II. What I will very affectionately say, your better half. You know, it's always time. The men got to stand up for the men. Come on now, we got to represent.
Well, it's my better half that we're here.
Absolutely. But welcome this evening, good sir.
Thank you on this evening. Thank you to President Cole, to Vice President Dr. Adair, to the members of this board, to the Superintendent Dr. Chapman, to Treasurer and Internal Auditor. I rise today with a full heart and a profound gratitude to offer a personal tribute to my wife, the Honorable Ramona Rosario Reyes, as she concludes 17 years of faithful elected service to this board and to the children and families of Columbus. Ramona's story is at its core an American story. She is a daughter of migrant farm workers, raised with 8 siblings in a home where her beloved grandmother, whom she was named after, lived and helped shape her very values. And from those very years, Ramona learned sacrifice. She learned perseverance. She learned faith and dignity of work. Service was not something that she discovered later in life. It was woven into her character from the very beginning. When Ramona arrived on the shores of the Olentangy River at the Ohio State University, she did not simply arrive to study there. And from that moment forward, service has followed her wherever she has gone, wherever God has placed her. And over the past 11 years of our relationship and throughout a decade of marriage, I have watched her life expand and even into greater areas of devotion. She is a loving and a steadfast wife, a nurturing and committed bonus mother to our daughter Carrington, who is with us on this evening, recent graduate of The Ohio State University, and a compassionate First Lady to our church and to our various religious associations. And yet, even with these responsibilities, Ramona never wavered in her public calling. For 17 years, she has helped guide Ohio's largest school district with courage, integrity, and an unwavering focus on children. And beyond this board, in her daily professional work, her job, she feeds families who are facing food insecurity and delivers essential programs and services to the most in need. Ramona is a pioneer Latino leader in our community, often the first, always prepared and consistently grounded in a grassroots perspective. She chairs a Head Start organization serving children across 11 states. She serves on the CAPA board, on the Mount Carmel nursing board for more than a decade. She has chaired Festival Latino, uplifting culture, education, and opportunity. I am immensely proud of you. I'm immensely proud of you. Our family and our extended family, we love and we support Ramona Reyes deeply. And my prayer for my wife is simple. It is what it has always has been. My prayer for her is that God will continue to bless her with the ever-increasing light of his understanding, that he will grant her strength for the journey ahead, and that God may grant her peace in knowing that her service has made and will continue to make a difference. Thank you, Ramona. Thank you, President Cole and the board, for this opportunity to honor my wife. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you. Before we move forward to our next speaker, it's interesting how I've known you longer than I've known Ramona.
So has Shauna.
And I remember when we were in Tennessee, we were in Nashville at the House of Blues after a long day of work and conference, and you two were dating at the time. And she told me then, she was like, Mike, she's one of the few that can call me Mike. She said, Mike, I think he's the one. And I just kind of broke out like, all right, okay, we just, but it's just so wonderful to see not only folks who love each other very genuinely and support each other through what are very tough and difficult times, but to remain steadfast through it. There are not a lot of people in politics who maintain their marriages, unfortunately. There are not many, period, who do it, let alone those who are in political life. And to see that you guys have continued your steadfastness as family, not just to each other, but to community, is an absolute just treasure. So thank you guys for being that space of, constant support for me and my space. But I remember, and it's a very fond memory. All right. Again, my sister, you had no one that you wanted to have come for you?
I have some words, but I'll
Yes,
do
please.
that later.
Okay, all right. We have a speaker with us this evening, a fine, incredible citizen who formerly served our state of Ohio in the state house as a state representative for what was at that time the 26th House District. She was also the minority leader of the House at the time of her service. She has carried on an incredible legacy and comes from a family of incredible legacy with a very unique relationship to the Columbus City School Board of Education and that of her husband's mother, Loretta Hurd. I welcome to our podium this evening, Mrs. Tracy Maxwell Hurd. Good evening.
Good evening, my friend. Dr. Chapman, to the board members, officers, distinguished guests, and community members. It's been a long evening, and why I follow the preacher, I have no idea. But I guess it's always the preacher and the politician. I'm truly honored to stand here today. I did not have the honor of getting to know Ms. Vera, but I am certainly encouraged by all of the accolades that you have received this evening at the reception and this evening as well. And you have done a great job in a very short period of time. So kudos to you and congratulations to you and your next. Ramona, I met Ramona actually when I was running for office for the first time, and she was a bubbly, young, excited woman who I had no idea what was coming down the pike for her, absorbed in what I was hoping was coming down the pike for me, and it has been an honor and a privilege to watch her journey as well. But I'm here this evening to speak specifically on behalf of my brother, Michael Cole. 29 years ago, when I hit this town, I was driving home actually, and listening to the radio, and I was trying to figure out, what am I listening to? Oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. Well, these people are talking about school, and who are they, and where are they? And is this like real, or is this a program? Later came to find out that I was listening to a Columbus Public School Board meeting. That was new to me because never had I ever lived anywhere or been anywhere where the Columbus School Board meetings were broadcast that way. So that was very fascinating to me. And one of the things that came out of it was not only just the passion of the people who were serving on the board, but the passion of the people of the community, that they were definitely paying attention and very vested in the activities and the decisions that were being made on behalf of their children. Fast forward, I learned that one of those voices was my future mother-in-law, as Mike said, Loretta Hurd, who was one of the longest-serving board members at, I believe it was 24 years when she retired. And she was my first connection to this body. And Mike, you are probably my most recent and one of those that I am most proud, although I have very tight relationships with many of your predecessors as well. But you and I have a very special connection and have from the very moment that we first met. I call him brother because he looks physically so much like my father, and the kinship that we have was so immediate and so deep that he definitely has always felt like family to me. We met in 2026 when I was first running for office, and he was my first campaign manager. Another young whippersnapper. Ramona, you weren't in the room, but yeah, that's what I called you. I've watched him from that opportunity moving forward, becoming a political advisor for many across the state, continuing to remain at my kitchen table over the years and advise me throughout my career, and finally to step up for yourself and to put yourself forward as a candidate and a public servant. I'm hoping that this is not the last stop. Your intellect, your political acumen, your heart for the people are greatly needed in these days. You are one of the smartest, most committed men of purpose and passion that I've ever known in my entire life. It has been my privilege to call you my friend and my brother. Though you have deep political acumen, you are not a politician. You have always been that public servant. And in these unprecedented days, what we need is service. We need people who are willing to stand on the wall in defense of our community and most specifically our most vulnerable and our future, our children. The arena in which you serve, education, is under attack, everything from funding to curriculum. And we need courageous, committed leaders on the field. These are not sexy times, these are not glamorous times, but they are absolutely necessary. And to those of you who will remain at this table and those three that will be coming to join you, I hope that you truly understand the task and the calling of this work. Many choose the school board as a launch into public life. I don't really have an objection to that. Continuing to serve beyond the school board is laudable. You hopefully leave here as a subject matter expert in something that impacts every aspect of our community and our society. Those elected to this opportunity must understand and respect the responsibility of this opportunity. And Michael, you have done that. Beyond this space, we need subject matter experts with commitment and integrity on the field beyond this arena, fighting for our children. I had the pleasure of serving in the Ohio legislature and dealing with our budget and dealing with what was generally House Bill 1 each time we had a new administration and there was a change in how we were going to approach education and how we funded education, because there was the decision by our Ohio Supreme Court, DeRolf versus the state of Ohio, that we were negligent in how we funded public education here. It was unconstitutional the way we funded it here in the state of Ohio. I regret to report that we have still not appropriately responded to that directive from the Supreme Court. We need people who are subject matter experts from these bodies to step into those fields and continue that service and bring that knowledge and experience to those bodies. I am so proud of your presence, Mike, here on this board, your leadership to your constituents, the future and the most vulnerable assets, our children. You have been an exemplary custodian, and your community thanks you. Welcome to the Salt and Pepper Club, my brother. I can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, big sis. I was really trying not to become emotive, but it's okay. It's okay. I deserve it. And I wanted to open up the floor to all of my brother, sister colleagues here and offer any words or thoughts, and not so much even about us three. I don't want to just limit it to that. We had an incredible year. I want to feel free to express, but whoever wants to start, the floor is open for kind words.
Let me go ahead and start, though, by our tradition.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. On the last meeting for board members, we give each board member a little crystal apple, glass apple, to commemorate their service. It's just obviously a small token of the vast amount of time and heart and commitment that you have each given to the children of this district and our community. So I want to officially present those to you on behalf of the board. They each have your name and years of service. So Ramona is from 2009 to 2025, Michael is 2014 to 2025, and Christina is 2022 to 2025. So I'd like to give those to you, and then you can continue with any.
Thank you, Madam Vice President, and thank you for continuing what is just a wonderful tradition amongst this body. The floor is open, folks. Ms. Ingalls.
Thank you. So I'll start with Board Member Reyes. Thank you so much for all of what you have poured into this district. You are my historian who I can ask, hey, did we ever think about this? And you would say, yeah, we did, in 7 different cycles. And this is not a new idea, right? And so having that context has been so helpful in thinking through what is good policy and what is good work and how can we grow as a district and how have we historically thought about these things and what worked and what didn't. And having you to bounce those ideas with has been immeasurably helpful. And so I appreciate you so much. I know that you are doing incredible work in the community and you will continue to do that. I think one of the first times I ever met you, I was a college student who was interning with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
What?
And helping and doing lots of Spanish language work around the community, and just looked up to you as this leader who would pop into board meetings and knew everybody and knew everything and knew certainly a lot about the schools, and I've just admired you since I've been young, and so I appreciate you and your work and what you've done for this community. To Christina, I don't know what I would have done without you starting on this board. You were such a leader coming in as the president as my first year, and you were just such an inspirational source. You were always somebody who I could call, who I could depend on, who I could trust, was trying to give me as much information and the truthful information that you had. I've never had to doubt that with you, and I appreciate that so much about you. You have a heart of gold, and I have really enjoyed getting to know you, getting to know your work and your family and your commitment to the kids of this district, because you have always kept them first. And I just appreciate that so much about you. I know that you're going to go on to do amazing things and continue to do amazing things because you are an amazing human, and that's what amazing humans do. And to Board President Cole, I have really enjoyed getting to know you and your jokes and your quirks. And, it is so fun for me as an attorney, right, who can battle it out with somebody on a phone call and immediately the next one start joking back and forth. And that is the relationship that we have built, and I have appreciated it so much. I know that you're going to have our back and you're going to fight for the things that are right. And I saw you around the State House, and I saw all the things that you were doing and how you were so committed to showing up. And we wouldn't have got a lot of the wins that we would have had you not been there and fighting for us. And I so very much appreciate it. I know it is all of us, but it is you too. And we see you and appreciate you so much and your leadership in stepping into this role this past year. Just thank you so much for all of your work.
Is there anyone else who had thoughts? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go for real this time. So I want to say first thank you to Ramona, because Ramona, when I came in, she was a great, just like Sarah said, great historian, knew everything. And I had known you before, and you were so supportive of me as a new board member. And then I became president, and you were my VP. And it was COVID. And that was hard. And you were there, and you supported and offered advice, and it was a difficult time. And so, I can't do it any better than what your husband said, what everyone else said. So just from my heart, I just want to say thank you, because being in the leadership seats is hard. And when you have two people who can work together, it matters. So I want to thank you. Christina, I want to thank you as well, because you came in after Ramona, and you were new, but you hit the ground running, and you pushed things forward, and you always have such a pure heart about where we're trying to go. And I know you made a lot of sacrifices. I know your family made a lot of sacrifices, and I saw it. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being there and picking up the phone at 11 o'clock or talking me through something, and being my partner as well, because it's hard. And Michael, I want to thank you for allowing me to be your VP, and the board voted, but for allowing me to be a partner with you and seeing you in a different way as the leader. Always speaking the truth. You always speak the truth. And you too. I've known you for a long time. I said in the reception, I said something about the 7. And being on the board every 2 years, you have the opportunity to get a new 7. And it's our community that obviously picks the 7, so like an arranged marriage. And it's up to us to figure out how to then work with one another, coming from all different places. And I want to thank each of you because I think that, one of the things that we tried really hard as a full body was to always put students first. And while we might not have always agreed, which is okay because that's democracy and that's what we do, we've always centered the decisions on students, and each of you have led that way. And each of you sitting in these seats have sacrificed a lot. And I don't think people know that, what the sacrifice is, unless you've been here. It's always hard because I'll be back, but you guys won't be here. And we'll have new people, and it's going to be great and fine. But it's like a family, right? You become a family, and then you have to say goodbye, but never forever, because you guys you always have a place, and you can come back after well rest and taking care of yourselves. So I just really wanted to share heartfelt thanks to each of you for your service, your dedication, the sacrifices you've made that no one knows. Because it's hard, and each of you have sat in the leadership seats. So thank you.
So I will start with President Cole, and I am reminded of I've been in education for quite a long time. When my child, eldest, was at COS, going through various conditions in that building, we organized and mobilized the students to have a voice and to reach out to the board and to invite them into the building and hear from them. And as a board member, you answered that call. You came to those late night meetings, you spoke with our students, you helped them understand the governance process, you encouraged them to come down to board meetings when we were at 270, you encouraged them to have a voice. One of those individuals is Board Member Simmons. I have watched you during this year mentor and guide him in that continued way. As you have been a leader throughout this community in various spaces, you have always picked up the phone, responded to the emails, and been available to meet with people who are interested in running for office and serving our community. And so I want to say thank you for being an individual that does that provides the guidance, that opens up the book to let individuals know the good and the bad as they think about serving our community, for making yourself available. And I know your great wife, Lee Cole, is in the back of the room. I want to thank her and your family. You have exceptional children who will definitely continue the service to our community in a variety of different ways. I hope the oldest girl comes back. She's in Japan, right? She might stay there, but
She's in Singapore, but yeah.
Singapore now. Okay.
Now she's going to Austria.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all. But I know that the foundation, academically, socially, emotionally, that you have fed into your family and into your children will continue to vibrate throughout this community in the work that they do, and you have a solid, firm legacy in addition to the legacy that I'm sure you have established with your Alpha brothers as well. And so just as I thank your family, I want to thank your brotherhood, because it takes a solid brotherhood to share one of their leaders with the community and to advance the call to build community. So thank you so much, President Cole. To Ramona, thank you so much for your service. It has been definitely a pleasure. I think I probably had more conversations with your husband, Bishop, early on, especially serving as the education chair for the NAACP, as well in those early years of me impacting education. And I remember you would come to those meetings on Saturday morning, and some of those meetings could be quite contentious, and you would come and you would sit And sometimes you would get an earful, probably more than you had anticipated, but you always sat there and you responded the best that you could. So thank you for the ways that you have served not only the Latino community, but also the African American community, the community of Columbus, and definitely I know Head Start is near and dear to your heart as we think about the ways that child care, early education are being cut. I take great honor in knowing that you are there to fight for the children to get that education that is so necessary for them to be prepared. So thank you so much for your service. And last but not least, to Christina, I had the great honor of serving as your VP. And in that role, it was literally, give Christina the ball, let her run with it. She got it. She's the boss. She still calls me to this day, and I'm like, hello, boss, what you got for me? What are we doing? And it takes, I think, a person that really has a level of just humility, empathy, and understanding to meet people where they are, and you are definitely that. And so when you see that spirit in a person, we should all be humbled to be around you. We should all be willing to give you the ball and to trust that you will get us to the finish line because of the spirit that you have. I first noticed that spirit when you were running for office and you were visiting schools and you were posting stuff on social media every other day. You were committed to really uplifting the voice and the experience of students. While we know that definitely our students that have special needs have a firm and special place in your heart, we also know that when it came to our students that were on the online academy, as soon as they called, hey, we're going over there to look to see what's going on, and we all answered that call with you. You have, in this term, made such a tremendous impact. You have refocused this board and this community on understanding the why. And the why is our students. Through everything that you have done, through your actions, and that you have said with your words, have been focused on students. And I thank you for that. As I look to the great work that you are doing with the release of your new book, and with Fimergy, I just pray that God continue to keep and bless you and your family, that he continue to expand your territory so you can continue to let that spirit that you have shine and make the impact that he has ordained for your life.
Right. Okay. Thoughts?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, President Cole. I wanted to start with thanking Board Member Reyes, first and foremost, for giving me the honor of being able to sit next to you for the last 2 years. I have gotten to learn so much from just having sidebar conversations with you, not just in public session, but we also sit next together in executive session too. And so I want to thank you, to thank all of you for your many, many years of service that began well before you became board members and got to this table. That began years and years before that, and that will continue for years and years after your service here ends. But Ramona, I want to thank you for your leading with dedication, with tenacity. Christina, I want to thank you for leading with compassion, intelligence, and sound judgment. And I've had the opportunity to watch you, process information and analyze decisions. And I always know that you're going to make the best decision for all of our students the same way you would for one of your own children. And I appreciate it. And I also appreciate you, taking the time to reach out and to, re-engage me last December. It was really valuable. And I appreciate it a lot. From President Cole, I want to thank you for leading with passion, with courage, and with strength. I've gotten to work alongside you in a different role. You've been in a different role this year, and I've had the opportunity to work alongside you in that new role and watch how your leadership has developed, watch how you care so deeply about all of our children in the district, about, you would like to talk about John and Jane Public before, you care about the taxpayers in our community. You are deeply passionate about the work that goes on here at this board, and you take a lot of ownership over it. I want to thank you all for that. And, I will be honest to say, I'm very fortunate. I want to thank you all for your grace as well, for giving me the opportunity to start next year off as a restored board member with the same rights and privileges that all of our colleagues will enjoy. I want to thank you all for that opportunity tonight. And in addition to that, I have to say I'm a little nervous because as I do have a lot of confidence in the folks that will be joining us in January, I know Ramona won't be there for me to lean on and to ask questions to and for us to have sidebars. I know you won't be there to be firm as a rock when it comes time to really decide about where we're going to send the resources in this district and, how we're going to make investments for our children. And so I'm nervous for what next year brings. But I know our community made the right decision in who they chose to send, just as they made the right decision when they chose to send all of us here. But just again, I want to thank you all for your for your lifelong service. That truly, it eclipses your years of service here, no matter how long they are. Your years before and after of service are so important and so positive to this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, colleagues, for all of your beautiful sentiments. And I know this was a long meeting. It wasn't supposed to be this long, but we're here now. So, but I just want to take a moment and I want to thank the voters of Columbus for trusting me to represent you these past 4 years. Although they sometimes have felt long, in this moment, it felt like it went by really, really fast. And as someone who grew up in Columbus, it was beyond anything I could have ever dreamed to come back and help lead the district that helped shape me. As you heard earlier, I'm a proud graduate of this district, K through 12, Brookhaven High School, Crestview Middle School, North Linden Elementary, Cassidy. I am CCS. And this opportunity has never been anything that I've taken lightly, and I will carry these years with me always. Serving on this board has been one of the greatest honors of my life, right next to parenthood, I have to say. I love my husband's traveling for work, so he couldn't be here, but definitely have felt very supported in this process. To the students of Columbus City Schools, I want to thank you. As a proud CCS alum, I've always carried deep pride in this district, so when I visited your buildings, gone to your games, student forums, it's always just like a quick glimpse of how time goes by so fast. My interactions with you over the past 4 years have brought me back to why again and again. You made me laugh, you asked me to have questions, honest questions. You've shared your ideas, your concerns, your hopes for what you want our district to become. And truly, I believe that many of the answers we continue to seek already live within our students. Their voices matter, and they have the answers on what we need to do to move forward. To our parents and guardians, thank you for your partnership, your advocacy, and your accountability. Your voices matter, and your love for your children fuels this district. To our incredible staff, I have seen you. I've seen you in more ways than one. In the classrooms, cafeterias, buses, warehouses, on the fields, on the stages. I've witnessed your dedication, your sacrifice, and the deep care you pour into our students every single day. You are the heart of this district, and I'm endlessly grateful for all you do. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the board services team, Carl and Lydia. I truly don't know how I would have made it through these past few years without you. Your support, your prayers, your guidance, your huddles, your steady presence carried me through some of the very heavy moments that I've had here, quite frankly, and I will always be thankful. To our Director of Government Affairs, Beth Hess, especially in this political climate, more challenging than any of us could have ever imagined, your leadership has been both necessary and deeply appreciated. To our comms team, both those that are currently serving in these roles and those who have moved on, which includes Ms. Jackie Bryant, Ms. Tyler Carter, and to the team behind the scenes, the gentleman in the back right now who help our meetings run smoothly. Your work is essential. You have helped tell our stories of our students, this great district, and I'm grateful for every ounce of support and guidance you have provided me and this board over the years. To our ESL team, thank you for the incredible work you do across our district. Your consistent presence at our board meetings and special events and unwavering support of this board has not gone unnoticed. I truly appreciate all you do and what you will continue to do. To our safety and security team, yes, your work is critical. You arrive early, you stay late, you protect our students, our staff through every season and every challenge, including times of unexpected threats. Thank you for your commitment and vigilance. Auditor O'Connor, I have learned so much from serving alongside of you. Your authenticity and your thought partnership have meant so much to me, and I've truly taken a lot of what I've learned from you into my everyday life and my other businesses, and I thank you sincerely for that. Treasurer Cook, it has been refreshing to serve with you. Your collaborative spirit and relationship building have helped charter a stronger fiscal path forward for this district, and I really appreciate your leadership. Superintendent Chapman, it has been quite the journey, and I truly believe you care deeply about our students, and I look forward to continuing to support the district's vision, even from the sidelines. And to my board colleagues, this work has not been easy. We have faced heavy challenges, but I leave this role with pride in what we have accomplished together. Thank you for trusting me to serve as your president, your vice president, chair of the Community Engagement and Advocacy Committee. Each of you has taught me something about leadership, something about resilience, and sometimes it's something even about myself personally. People don't truly understand how heavy this work is until they're in it. And if we're being honest, we leave these roles with gratitude and quite a few scars. Together, we have navigated a global pandemic. So when Tina mentioned the campaign, that was during a pandemic where we were supposed to be social distancing. Together, with the support of voters, we passed the levy. We did that. Together, we hired 3 new direct reports. Together, we've shaped policy. Together, we've advocated. And together, we have governed. Together, we have taken the necessary steps to begin the process of establishing a Columbus Education Foundation. More information will be coming out at the top of the year about that. Together, we have begun the difficult but necessary work of realignment within our communities and so much more. To the Columbus community, at a time when division feels louder than unity, this is the moment we must come together. I believe in Columbus City Schools. I believe in the city of Columbus. And only together can we create a future that strengthens educational opportunity and access for more than 46,000 students we serve today and those yet to come. We cannot afford to work in silos. We need everyone, students, families, staff, business leaders, elected officials, faith communities, and nonprofits. The future of this district belongs to all of us. Lastly, I want to thank my family. Thank you for sharing me with thousands. Thank you for understanding the late nights and the missed gatherings. Thank you for calling me the moment you saw something on the news and you said, "What's going on?" Thank you for waiting for me in parking lots when you thought a quick pull-up might be necessary. You are my village, along with my mentors, my coaches, my kitchen cabinet. You know who you are. This has never been about me, and it's not really about any of us. It's about something bigger. It's about supporting and uplifting the present and future generations of Columbus City School students. Leaders Grown Here is not just a CCS slogan. I, along with many in this room, are living examples of what happens when this district believes in its students. I am CCS. I look forward to continuing my work through Femergy, an organization that I proudly co-founded, which serves hundreds of CCS girls since 2014, and I remain open to what's next. This is not a goodbye, Columbus. I will still be around, and this is simply a see you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President Emeritus. I very affectionately refer to you as that. When we first met each other, it was interesting because I was running, well, come on now. This is Michael D. Cole, what you talking about? When we first met, and it was during the campaign season, and I come from an old school of campaigning, and I got this lesson from Mr. Ines Ray Miller, who taught me this, that you don't even say the name of your opponent. You don't mention their name. You're running your race. I learned that as a politician. I learned that as somebody who trained in combat, hand-to-hand combat, and boxing and martial arts. I learned that my opponent is me. My opponent is in front of me, not no one else. And I would playfully, they would say, did you hear what that Christina would say? Oh, yeah, that Christina Aguilera, what's her name? I would playfully say that. But then you won your race. We run our races collectively. You came in first place, too.
Actually, I think Ramona came in. I beat
No, you came in first place. She was 2.
No, I wasn't.
But whatever.
Go ahead.
Latin love,
Always been
Latin
first.
love.
I've always been first.
Either way, you won, and subsequently we just became very good friends. Very good friends. I'm absolutely been honored to serve with you. You have demonstrated quite a tremendous amount of poise and steady-handedness. Everything that all of our colleagues had to share about you was absolutely accurate, and it's just a blessing to call you a sister colleague as well. It's been just a tremendous joy. With that, today is not just about us three. Today was a holiday celebration as well for everybody. You had thoughts too? You had something to share?
A little bit.
Okay.
Mine are brief.
I'll let you do that, and then we'll go on to our thing. Go ahead, please.
Just very quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, President Cole. I'll start with just, again, I think echoing what people have said about Christina. One of my pleasures is getting to know you this year. Where we're at is wonderful. I think a lot of people were probably flipping coins, figuring out who's going to sit here on this side. But I am blessed to end up being between the two of you and really enjoying seeing you in action. What everyone has said, you jumped in, you picked the ball up, and you were fierce and true to your calling, true to our district, true to what you needed to do and what you had to do. I said, but we all had some very hard decisions, and you were taking them to heart. That's why I'm not looking at you right now. It's like that's the heart that comes out in all the decisions that you made on this floor, and just being an awesome vice president, an awesome president. It's just been a pleasure. And so you're gonna have to call me every other Tuesday just to make sure that we're connected. Brother Cole, we've grown up in this district. We've grown together. We fought, and I think that's. I've got 6 brothers. You were just like in the fold, and I appreciate. And you and I both talk about it. We can fight. We can disagree. It wasn't fist fighting, everybody. It was just fight.
Please.
But at the end of the day,
no cancel culture.
It was because I truly believed in what all of us have knowledge of what's going on in the district. We all have constituents. We all have people that we run into at the grocery store. We have people that call us, that email us, that text us, that I think somebody said in the reception, everyone else knows what's going on. But we truly know what's going on. We're reading. I started with President Carol Perkins. I remember having like 800-page agendas. So when you're talking about, and one of our colleagues mentioned about getting streamlined with the new governance. It's like pages, big old notebooks. Having the opportunity to work with you with policy governance and the new policy and going to Neola and just doing a lot of that work. And sometimes I just get so upset, Cole, because one of the things that people don't know in most of our conversations has never been a me conversation. It's even like you're getting ready to do here later. It's always been, well, Ramona, we got to do stuff for the entire team. We got to look at everybody, and it can't just be one person. And it's always been like that for you, and a lot of people don't know that. For both of us, a lot of times our passion speaks louder. They see that passion and that fire, and they mistake that for anger, for any other adjective that we want to put in there. So I truly appreciate getting to know you, traveling, doing the things, doing the work that has been done. I mean, former board member Gibbs talked about all the work that we've done. There's a lot of things that we've done, and I'll go into my speech so that I can stop talking. I want to say thank you. I always want to start with thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Don't do it. When I look back on these past 17 years of service at Columbus City Schools, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. I was first appointed in November of 2008 when the board at the time asked, why has there never been a Latino appointed or elected to this board? They took a chance on me. My service was in January of 2009, which I didn't get to go to President Obama's inauguration because they chose that day to inaugurate me. Not that I'm bitter. Never imagining how deeply this work would shape my life. Through appointments and elections in 09, 10, 14, 18, and 22. I showed up every day with one guiding promise, to lead with integrity and to make every decision with the best interest of our children at heart. I want to thank the voters who placed their trust in me. I want to thank the individuals who financially supported my campaigns, the organizations and the community leaders who endorsed me, CEA, OPSI, and many of our other wonderful friends that help us in this education journey. And countless of people who believed in this mission long before it ever had a title attached to it. To my campaign managers and teams, thank you for walking beside me through every chapter, through victories, challenges, and long nights when the work felt heavy, but the purpose remained clear. I also want to extend my deepest gratitude to my family and friends. Thank you for your patience, your prayers, your encouragements, and your sacrifices. To Board Member Vera, we missed a lot of events, a lot of big events. Most recently, my daughter was in the hospital, and I had to leave because we had a board meeting. And that's the commitment that you do and what you make when you get onto this board. Your love, steadiness, and belief in me made it possible for me to serve with strength and resolve. I did not walk this journey alone, and I'm forever grateful for you. To former board members that I had the opportunity to serve with, 3 of which were here today, my president, Perkins, my sister, W. Shauna Gibbs Ayers, and my brother from another mother, Mr. Brian Stewart, Esquire. And we also got Dr. Harris out of retirement for a hot minute today. I'm deeply thankful. I learned so much from you about leadership, courage, and the responsibility that comes with making decisions that affect generations. To our current board members and those who are incoming, I offer my heartfelt well wishes. The work ahead will not be easy. Budget constraints will force difficult decisions, and those moments will test you. When they do, I hope you pause and remember the children. Keep their needs at the center of every conversation, every vote, and every choice. If you do that, you will always be on the right path. I've always said, and I will always believe, that this district produces the best students anywhere. If anyone ever saw me in my campaigns, if anyone's ever seen me in the neighborhoods, if anyone's seen me anywhere, I've always said that. Our students are the best. Our children, our teachers, and our staff are extraordinary, and serving them has been the greatest privilege of my life. Thank you to our current superintendent, Dr. Chapman, for your countless hours. People don't know what superintendents do. You guys don't sleep. We text you you're available at 3 o'clock in the morning. We text you you're available at 11 night, and you yourself have families. Treasurer Cook and Internal Auditor, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Internal Auditor, I've been the biggest critic of that office, and you're just a superstar. I mean, truly, truly, thank you for the work that you do. Some of my most meaningful moments did not happen at board meetings. They happened at graduations. They happened when a student stopped me and said, "Your speech mattered to me. It helped me believe in myself." They happened when I shook a student's hand at graduation, only to meet them years later, now working for the mayor of the city of Columbus. She showed me a picture. She reminded me of that. And they happened when I watched a child I first met at kindergarten walk across the stage as a graduate. Those moments remind me why this work matters. They are moments I will carry with me forever. Being the first Latina elected official in the city of Columbus and on this Board of Education has been an honor I carry with humility. Representation matters to our students, who finally see themselves reflected, to families who feel seen, and to the community that knows their voice belongs in every room where decisions are made. I was proud to serve as vice president of the board, most recently in 22, and to chair the Public Engagement Committee. Together, we opened doors and created spaces where voices, especially student voices, could rise. Children's Day, Kicking It with Columbus City Schools, the Parent Ambassador Program, and the Student Ambassador Program, which we heard of in this morning or this afternoon, were never just programs. They were promises to listen, to engage, and to uplift. I also had the privilege of sharing the CFO and internal audit searches and serving on internal audit, understanding that strong stewardship is an act of care because our children deserve systems that protect and support them. I'm incredibly proud of the growth we achieved together advocating for the world language middle school. Those teachers, those students, those parents pulled us aside and said, "This is what we want." My board colleagues joined in and courageously gave them exactly what they needed. It's a world-class school. Expanding career and technical education through Downtown High School and the Fort Hays campus. Expanding kindergarten and pre-K, and through the Facility Master Plan, opening or renovating 46 buildings, 46 places where dreams are formed and futures are built. Service does not end with a term, it lives in the heart. That is why I created the Ramona Reyes Foundation, named after my grandmother, whose strength guides me still. Through the foundation, we have been able to provide thousands of dollars in scholarships and gift cards to Columbus City School graduates, because when you lift one student, you lift an entire family. My own journey began as the daughter of migrant farm workers, arriving in Columbus through the Campbell Soup Migrant Scholarship. Education changed my life, and serving this district has been my way of giving that gift forward. Thank you for the honor, thank you for the trust, and thank you for allowing me to serve.
Thank you, Board Member Reyes. So before we get a chance to close out, and I want to thank everyone for their patience. I want to thank everybody for allowing us the opportunity to exchange flowers and gratitude, and not just do that for the sake of contributing to global warming, but really having the opportunity to tell the folks that we have a last time to do, thank you, and how deeply we love and appreciate each of you. Before I transition to what will be my closing, which will be a lot briefer and extemporaneous, I wanted the opportunity to make sure that as a part of our gratitude, we carry the tradition of gifting to each other. And thank you again for continuing that tradition. I wanted to make sure that each of you, because today is just about you as well. Thank you, Board Member Simmons. Listen, young man. Listen. You heard me? All right. I've come to care a great deal about you. I've told you before that I have the highest aspiration for your success at this table. You are needed. You are believed in. You have a tremendous responsibility, but you got this brain of yours, you got this heart of yours, and you got this strong back of yours to take the weight to do the work. You understand? Okay, that's yours, son. Love you. Yes, sir. All right. Madam VP, this is your swag bag. Listen, we've had the opportunity to know each other for a very long time. We go back to, Project Diversity with the United Way of Central Ohio, 12th cycle. We've been in community service together for a very long time. I have a tremendous amount of love, endearment, respect for you. You take on a lot of weight. You are a mother of 2 children. You are engaged as fully as you can, sometimes a little too much, but engaged as fully as you can in this district. You are. What I want you to do, though, is I want to encourage you to value your peace. Whatever you have to do to identify and protect your peace and find your joy in this work, I really encourage you to push forward in that space, to give you every bit of endurance you need to complete this work. You are the source of all your abundance. Nobody else. Nobody's affirmation, nobody's atta girl, nobody's good job, none of that. You are the source of your abundance. You are, baby. And this work needs you to continue forward and to continue to be the steady hand that everybody here needs. You're my space of institutional knowledge. We put a lot into your lap to carry forward, and I know you'll do it well. Love you and thank you. Board Member Ingalls. It has absolutely been a blessing to serve with you. Yes, and you know I love your mom too. But it's been an absolute blessing to serve with you. You've been growing, and I love the fact that you've grown in your confidence in this seat. And I look forward to all of the things that you're going to produce moving forward. This district is going to be in incredibly good hands with you at the helm. You understand? Bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Dr. Pierce, you stand up, my sister. Listen, love you dearly. We've watched our kids grow up together. Much like Moni and myself and several others in this community, we've grown up together in this city. As leaders, we've grown up together in this district. I watched you engage us on a couple times trying to get on the school board, and you never gave up, you never quit. I thank you for what you bring to the table in terms of your sense of wanting to make sure that things are clear and understood, that there's accountability. Do not lose that fire. Do not lose it. I encourage you to continue to do the things. Again, cultivate whatever it is that you got to have your steady hand in this at as well. That is going to give this board every bit of clarity and direction it needs, because you using all of that brilliance in your mind and all of that love and passion in your heart to give us the best guidance we can have. This district is in good hands. It is. and it has incredible potential. And I thank you for serving with me all these years. Yes, ma'am. I just want to close out with this theme in mind of leaving Columbus City Schools in good hands. I was asked a question during the interview for something that was, I guess, going to be printed or printed already about where did I find joy? Where did I find joy? And for a time, and I think it might have happened during COVID, but for a time, I started losing it. I think I lost it first when Gary, Shauna, Brian, Dominic, when these guys left, for whatever reasons they left, and most of them were very good reasons, they just found greener pastures. When they left, I went through very quietly, very silently, just went through a down period emotionally, a down period of, they left me, a down period of, I can't believe this, I'm here, and I know some of these people is cool, Christina Aguilera, some of these people are awesome people, but I miss my friends. I've always been a person who, a red flag for me was, we don't have to like each other, but we respect, I need to like you. I need to. In fact, I need to love you. I may not like your mess, and you may not like some of mine. That's fine. But I have to love you to lean in. I have to love you to be the person I need to be in obedient service to a much higher power than myself that directed me to this work. That is the substance of why I'm here, obedience and my faith. And my faith is not my religion. My faith is the substance of things I have my highest aspirations for. And even though there's no presence, tangible or intangible, of them, it's not there to be seen, it's not there to be sensed, I still believe it's going to happen. I believe that in the human potential opportunity for our children, I believe that in the human potential opportunity for each and every one of us adults who are responsible for kids. I'm going to close with this thought. It was an epiphany that I got when I went through the Bright Fellowship program at The Ohio State University and subsequently got a principal's license and all that other stuff, and the work that I did with Canal Winchester, the year that I was with them, that they welcomed me. I learned something really interesting. I learned that all young people want to do is have some people around them who are grown folks, who are adults, who know how to not only give them the guidance, but give them the constant love and encouragement. To keep a cool card. I maintain a cool card in my pocket at all times, especially when I meet young people who just want that opportunity to feel like, oh yeah, all right, I like that song you listening to, or whatever it was that gave them a moment with you to say that you're not just Mr. Cole, you're not just Ms. Reyes, you're not just who you are as an adult authority. You're there who's a likable, approachable human being that is making this an experience for me to draw from that's positive. And if it means that us as grown folks, adults, have to figure out in a way where we can change our adult behavior of how to make our spaces so much more accommodating by being so much more lighter. Who had a former board president Perkins? I laughed at myself at the table here. I did. I could stumble over something, and it's okay because we've got work to do, and the work is actually being accomplished. So if I look like I'm goofy for a quick second, I'm okay with that. But that's the humanity that they need to see in all of us, that level of levity, that level of engageability. I can talk to you. I can relate to you. Let's figure out, let's continue to transform culture in this district in a way that we bring that to every space we're in. That we bring that to every space we're in. And watch this. The time is now to actually do it. The time has come for us to actually do it. The time has always been at hand for us to actually do that. Figure out how we lean in despite how tough these times are. Figure out how we lean in on love, on joy, on peace, on patience, on faithfulness, on long-suffering or endurance, on self-control. There are a few other of those spiritual fruits that we can make use of every day. Let's figure out how we do that and make this school not just a place of education, but a transformational place that can transform and turn around a community, a city, and maybe even ideally, a country. God bless you all. God bless Columbus City Schools. Dr. Chapman, my love, blessings, and support will remain and continue with you. You understand? The same thing with you, Mr. Cook, and with you, Mr. O'Connor. And with you, staff, thank you so very deeply for all of the commitment and work that you gave. Thank you for all the gifting that you gave to me, whether it was in a moment, whether it was in your service, whether it's in your friendship and brother and sisterhood. I thank you, I bless you, and I wish you all the best for your work moving ahead. Is there a motion
To adjourn.
Second.
All right, if there are no nays,